Star Wars geek girls. They're geek girls that like Star Wars. And sometimes cry.
Okay, it's recording. Hi, I'm Zoe from Star Wars Geek Girl. I'm here with Lizzy.
Hi, I'm Lizzy from Star Wars Geek Girl.
And we have two guests today instead of one.
Two whole guests.
Bumping it up. So we have Jonah from the Wookiee Gunner, or Geeky Bubble. Right?
Hey.
Sorry, brain. And we have
Oh, no worries.
Okay, and we have Corey Van Dyke with us also.
What's up, guys? I'm so excited to talk Clone Wars with this awesome group.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
We're a full group.
We're going to talk about the last two episodes, Shattered and then Victory and Death. And before we start, just like quick spoiler-free thoughts from everyone.
Spoiler-free?
Spoiler-free.
Yeah,
Okay.
just like general, like, I don't know.
It was amazing.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all you can say. That's spoiler-free.
Yeah, I know.
I'm very sad.
I'm very sad.
shattered.
Yeah.
We're all
I'm
shattered.
Shattered.
Yes, there you go. That's perfect. If there's one word to describe the finale, the two episodes, it's shattered.
Shattered.
One word.
We're shattered, victorious, and dead.
Oh,
Yes.
Inside,
Nice.
yes. Okay, that's the spoiler-free. Let's talk spoilers.
Okay, so Shattered. So I have the Wikipedia page up, because that's what professionals do, right? and share it. We're in Zoom instead of Clean.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Fancy.
Great. Oh, you have an Ahsoka icon. I'm sorry. You have an Ahsoka cursor.
Yes. Yeah,
That's
no,
so
it's
cool.
a Google extension, and they have like a whole bunch of Star Wars cursors.
Whoa.
And it's
I
they
need
have
to get on
they have
that.
Rex ones. I don't think they have Rebels ones. They might, but they have. I know. I'm sorry.
That is so
But anyway,
cool.
what's it called? I gotta tell you now. It's called. Click. We're
so
already
bummed.
off topic. It's been like what 2 minutes.
Not even 2 minutes, I don't think.
This is what
Okay,
happens
I
when
don't
you
know.
share your screen with us.
Right. Yeah. No, I think it's called custom cursor. So they have.
Ooh.
I think Safi has Baby Yoda ones because they showed her how to do it.
Oh,
There's a
custom
bunch.
cursor.
They're the best.
Got it.
That's cool.
Yeah, here's some of the Star Wars ones. There's Rex.
You
There's
just have her
Ahsoka.
face
Ooh.
pointing around.
There's Baby Yoda with Christmas Starbucks. It's all great. Porgs,
Interesting.
everything.
Nice.
Revan.
Wow.
Yeah, highly recommend. There's very.
Oh,
good
they even
people.
have Revan. That's so cool.
Yes.
Sponsor us.
Yeah. Tusken. I don't know who that is. That's Babu
great.
Frick. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, custom cursor. It's great.
Cool.
It's a good time. It's free. So.
Okay, so
Yes.
Shattered.
So Maul is captured and
he was in that giant box that
Yeah.
had Mandalorian carvings in it.
that was such
It
a
was
cool box.
so cool.
The human
And you only
envelope.
see- Oh
Like-
gosh.
Like, you know how everyone makes like Han and Carbonite everything? I want Maul in the Jedi box everything.
Right?
Oh,
That's
that
so
was
true.
cool.
I actually had a friend who texted me right now and was like, Mike, his name is Mike, and he said, do you think the Empire based the cages at the Citadel they kept Luminara in on the one the Mandos used on Maul? This is literally 4 minutes ago. I was like, that's such a great thought. Who knows?
Honestly,
Maybe.
probably.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, because they said that the one with Maul was the last one, so it was probably. I mean, jumping ahead, was probably destroyed in that
Yeah.
crash. But they probably there's like a history of them using on the Jedi, so they probably
Yeah.
definitely took design, especially because they had Mandalorian like children designing weapons for them.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I forgot how screwed up that was.
Oh, It was a series of terrible decisions.
many terrible decisions.
Yeah.
But anyway, they're walking, and Ursa Wren has her helmet off, and she looks amazing. And
She looks so cool. I don't know why this entire time, everyone was like, oh, Ahsoka. I was like, Ursa! Ursa!
Yeah, she looked really cool.
I was really hoping she would take her helmet off ever since we first saw her in was that episode 6?
Somewhere
7?
around there.
Yeah.
Episode
I think it was the
7, I
seventh,
think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was like the 3rd episode of the Ahsoka
Yeah.
part. And I was like, is she gonna take her helmet off though? And I didn't think she was. And then Shattered, she was walking with Bo, and I was like, yes,
That was so cool.
I
Yep.
kind of wish, because Lucasfilm puts out those promotional episodic images, I kind of wish they hadn't put that out there because
Yeah.
she didn't
Yeah.
say anything. So
Right.
how amazing would that have been had we just seen it happen right there and then? But of course, I saw it, I got excited, and I shared it with everyone. It's like, if I see this, everyone else has to see it with me.
To be fair,
That's,
I
like-
needed art references. But
That's like for me. I was like, man, like they shouldn't release like as many promo images all the time because I want to be surprised. But every promo image I see, I like save it and like send it to everyone. So like,
Yeah,
wait,
same,
do you
honestly.
remember Resistance, Zoe? You were watching Resistance and like
oh my god, no, that was stupid. That okay. So on the Disney
think I
Now
know.
app, the engineer episode, I can spoil Resistance now, right?
Yeah.
Engineer
Fine.
episode, the thumbnail for that episode in the app is Nina talking to Pyre.
Yeah,
Why?
Mm.
Who picked that thumbnail?
it was like you just gave it away.
Like,
Oh,
like why?
So funny.
I genuinely don't know anything about the second season of Resistance just because I haven't gotten around to watching it, but so I'm not sure who that even is.
Oh.
But
Well, it's not on Disney Now anymore. I guess it's Disney.
I think it's on
Plus,
Disney
but-
Plus. They have the
yeah.
whole.
Hopefully, they picked a
season
better
on there.
thumbnail for Disney Plus because that made me kind of
on.
mad.
You know, I remember
Like,
when
why?
season 6 came out of Clone Wars on Netflix, and somebody had said that the thumbnail for the last episode of the show had Ahsoka dying with Yoda during the dream sequence. And it
Oh.
wasn't like that for me, but he sent me a screenshot, and sure enough, it was like that for him. So without knowing the context and going into that, it's like, wait, first off, Ahsoka's back, and second off, is she dying? Like,
Oh,
it's
no.
crazy, some of the selections.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so the thumbnail is not that. It's just her face, so it's fine. It's fine.
Okay,
We're all fine.
Oh,
corrected
okay,
it.
good. Dude, I saw that and I was like, wait. And then I watched and then I started the episode and I was like, wait, so she's gonna be a spy? Thanks, Disney
Aw.
Now. I was not a fan of that app. Can I say that? That
No.
app was not
Oh, that app
good.
sucked.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
just terrible. The player, you couldn't fast forward, and if you did, or rewind it, and if you did, it wouldn't go back to the spot that you wanted. It was
Mhm.
awful.
So I was like worried. I was like,
wouldn't
is
stream on the TV.
Disney Plus
Yeah.
gonna be anything like this app? Because I can't do
Oh,
that.
man.
But it's not. It's perfect.
It was really
Thankfully.
good when Rebels was on. Like it was like because they would always release an episode like a week beforehand.
Mhm, mhm.
I love that. That was so much fun.
Yeah.
Well, that was
Awesome.
like, at least for us, I think that was like the Disney XD app instead
Oh,
of the Disney
yeah,
Now
you're right.
app. So
Yeah.
it's different.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're right.
There's
Yeah.
too many apps.
There's too many. Yeah, I'm getting
They
confused.
need to consolidate. Yeah.
I mean, they kind of
That's
did with
Disney
Disney
Plus
Plus.
now.
but-
Yes, yeah, but like even with social media accounts, there's too many. I can't follow
There
everything.
is.
And then especially when they all post like kind of the same thing all the time. And it's like you want to follow them all, but then you get the same post on like your timeline over and over again. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
But yeah, thinking back to Ursa, a part of me is happy with what we got because obviously the focus was on Ahsoka and Rex, but the other part of me is like, man, I really wanted to see some references to the Mandalorian,
Mm.
like the Night of 1,000 Tears, and maybe a hint from Gideon or something. I
Yes,
don't know.
Gideon.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like I really wanted to see that, but obviously the focus was on our two main characters and not what was happening on Mandalore. So hopefully at some point down the line we see these events that were referenced in the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I made this small meme and it was like, what Clone Wars thinks I want, and it's like Ahsoka and Darth Maul fighting, and then I put what I really want is the drawing of the baby Sabine on Ursa's back. Oh.
Yeah, I think it would have been cool, if we saw Gideon as like a Republic officer on one of the Venators.
Mhm.
But I wonder if he was even a character created yet by the time that they were like animating this. I don't know.
That's a
Well,
good
and I
point.
would.
Yeah.
I don't. know how old he is, but he might not have really been old enough to be a high-ranking officer in the Republic.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Mm,
That's true. That's true.
good point.
I needed my Gideon cameo though.
We did get a Dryden Voss.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
I
awesome.
saw that and I was like, is that like I felt so bad. So here's the thing that happened. Like the first episode of I think it's the beginning of Ahsoka's arc with Rafa and Trace, and like Ahsoka like kind of flies by one ship, and it's like it has Mandalorians in it, and or like, you know, and my dad was like, those are Mandalorians. I was like, why? Because they're white? He was like, no. And then I looked at Voss and I was like, he looks like Voss, right? But yeah, that was so cool.
That just raises questions to me because like how powerful Crimson Dawn was, because you don't really hear anything about Crimson Dawn until Solo.
Yeah.
So like I wonder if they were like a little tiny baby crime syndicate that Maul was working on.
Well, you know, Maul
growing.
told them to go into hiding, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think so.
That's true. Yeah.
See, and that's the thing. Like Corey, I remember you mentioned this on Twitter. The fact that they should have done like oh my God, what's the name of that? The Maul arc.
Yeah, Son of Dathomir. Mm-hmm.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Like I was
Yeah.
drawing a complete blank.
Yeah.
But yeah, they should have done that as an arc
Yeah.
and introduced it somewhere in between, because Maul, even though he's not a hero, I felt he was a main character as well in all of this. So I wanted his part of the story, Ahsoka, and then, you know, and Rex was at the beginning. So that would have been a great way to tie in these three essential people.
Right. No, for sure. I think especially because, you know, when we see like Gar Saxon and cast, if you haven't read the comic, they're kind of just like, wait, where do they come from? But with Son of Dathomir, they're really established. So I hopefully one day they'll go back and maybe make it a Disney Plus movie or something.
I would hope so, like a mini series or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so cool that Vanessa Marshall was recast.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
That was
yes.
awesome. That
So
was
cool.
awesome.
I feel like it hasn't totally hit me that this is like the end, just because Clone Wars has ended twice before.
It has.
I feel like it's not like registering that it's like the actual end. So in the back of my head, I'm like, they could like just do like another like in between season of some of the arcs they missed.
And
Yeah.
then 2 years, 10 years.
Yeah.
Basically,
I mean,
yeah.
So
We gotta get Clone Wars resaved.
but then on the other hand, like I think the ending, which we'll get to later, is like just so powerful. I'm okay if they don't. Like I'd love to see those stories in some shape or form, but like I don't want to take away from the way that ending hit me, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
For sure.
I felt really bad because I was thinking throughout that whole, like, once that episode was done, like once it was done, I was like, oh, that was more of an ending than like Rise of Skywalker.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh no! I love that ending too.
I know.
It's okay.
I love the
totally
Rise.
understand though. It had more of an impact for sure.
Yeah. I love the
Yeah.
Rise of Skywalker ending, but Clone Wars. I mean, can we just say Clone Wars and Rebels kind of just do the movies better?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, like the movies need to be there, but like
Yeah, the movies just need to be there. Yeah.
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
movies exist to serve Filoni. That's it.
So I was talking to my parents and I was like, oh, the reason, so I loved Clone Wars, but for some reason not for some reason, but I loved Rebels and Resistance and stuff a lot more sometimes. And I think it's because like I don't really I don't care much for the Skywalker drama. So that's why I'm like, okay, you know, the movies, they're cool, they're great, but also Rebels and Kanan, they're pretty great too. Like I like Star Wars, but I like those independent stories that like the Ghost Crew had, and like
it just fills in the galaxy a bit more. It makes it more rich, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I've always I don't know, I love the Skywalker stuff, but I always find it interesting that hopefully one day they'll start exploring things like the High Republic and all that, you know, getting away from the main story. And it's kind of like you said about the Rise of Skywalker ending. Clone Wars actually felt like, to me, the real like Skywalker saga ending, right? Because we followed Clone Wars for all these years, and it's like this was the last like George Lucas era Star Wars material, really. And so it felt like a proper conclusion. And on top of the Rise of Skywalker ending, it's like we got two endings to, you know, Anakin's story and Luke's story, and it's pretty cool that we got that within a couple months of each other.
Right. Yeah. And I also like how the ending to season 5, which was its own sort of ending for what we had at the time, it kind of complements what we got here, because it focuses on like the war at that point in time. And it was just so beautiful to see like the tree of the forest tree that's at the temple blooming, and then you know, we go to this planet that's dead cold, and you know, the clone troopers' helmets are broken and shattered and wasting away. I thought that was a very sharp contrast to what we got previously as an ending.
For sure.
We should get back to Shattered because we're not.
Yes, I'm sorry.
We're not even on the ship yet.
It's fine. We were talking about Ursa,
but it's good stuff. We're talking good stuff.
Yeah, no, we are. I was just like, we got to go through the actual episode at some point. So Bo and Ahsoka have I really like their little conversation. And it was like rough, kind of, because it was like hopeful. Like they're talking about like the future of Mandalore, and Ahsoka's like, oh, you know, I'm gonna bring him to the Jedi, and Bo's like, I'm gonna, you know, she's talking about being a leader and trying to me, and the insinuation was that she's gonna try and find a balance between like keeping the warrior part of Mandalorian culture while also like doing some of the things Satine was doing to like keep peace and safety for people. And it was like so hopeful, and I was like, no.
That scene kind of got me emotional when Ahsoka and Bo shake hands, just because all those years ago, one of the first pieces of art that Dave released after the show was canceled was that drawing. And so seeing it on screen was like pretty mind-blowing. Just thinking of that drawing, and now 6 years later we actually have it.
Awesome. Like, how do they get there? What's happening?
Right.
So then Rex approaches, saying the Jedi Council is waiting to speak to Ahsoka. So,
oh my God, Mace Windu,
okay, I knew you were gonna do this. I knew it. So Mace Windu was rude in that scene. Yeah, that's Mace Windu, obviously. But he was right. He was rude, but he was correct.
He was, but the thing is,
sassy. I loved it and hated it.
You don't end a conversation saying something that's kind of open-ended and leads someone else to be like, what does that mean?
Right.
Because that's what happened. He said something that was kind of wanting someone else to dig for information, and then Ahsoka naturally just said, what does that mean? And then that's when he said what he said. Mace, he's one of those Jedi.
Sorry, civilian.
To be fair, Ahsoka was really just like seconds before was really clear. Like, I did not do this as a Jedi. I'm not associated with the Jedi anymore. I'm a citizen. And if Ahsoka wants to assert herself as not being part of the Jedi, she has to lose the privileges that come with being a Jedi. And one of those privileges is getting information. You know?
Yeah,
but it's also like.
Go ahead. No, yeah, I was just saying, I think like the first thing I thought of was, wow, Ahsoka technically was like on trial for execution. I mean, they were going to straight up execute her, you know, if she was found guilty for something she didn't do. And then on top of that, she brought Maul to them, you know, which is something that they were not able to do. And so I feel like Ahsoka at that moment knew that there was a connection between the Chancellor and Anakin, and that's why she wanted to know. And so when Mace said that, I'm just thinking like, so here's the thing, Mace Windu. Here's the thing. like this is what it comes down to. Like, you're kind of dead because you said that to Ahsoka. Like, if you hadn't, maybe she would have told everybody what was going on. But Mace was like, nah. But you're a civilian.
What would that have changed, though? I mean, he still went to the Chancellor and tried to kill him, and he lost.
Yeah,
that's, you know, I feel like what would have changed if Ahsoka said anything, really?
I think the only thing that would change is they would realize that there was something deeper with Anakin. Like if Maul saw Anakin, raiding the Jedi Temple or whatever he saw, maybe they would leave Anakin out of the
Would have
loop.
brought more Jedi.
Yeah, or something. Because if they left Anakin out of the loop, he probably maybe he probably sensed that Mace was there. But
he was already sent to, at this point, already sent to spy on the Chancellor. Everything was kind of already deeply in motion.
Yeah.
I don't think, because from my understanding, that conversation with Ahsoka was pretty much right before Mace Windu went to confront Palpatine.
Right.
So I feel like even if Ahsoka said that, because when Anakin comes in, it's when all the other Jedi are dead, and Mace Windu is kind of just in a stalemate with Palpatine, and he asks Anakin for help to like finish it off, and Anakin makes his choice, and I don't think Anakin's choice would have been changed.
Yeah.
And and I think Mace Windu still would have kind of had to ask Anakin for help.
Yeah.
In that situation.
Probably. I just don't like Mace Windu.
No one does.
And it's funny because someone had brought up that topic on Twitter and said, there are a lot of the Jedi were jerks, to be honest, and how they approach things. That's how
Luminara?
Huh?
Luminara?
Luminara, given what happened with Rafa and Trace, how do you go up to a kid whose parents just died and say the Force will be with you always? What does that do? It doesn't do anything. So yeah, like they were all jerks in their own way. It's just Mace showed it more than the others.
I remember when Luminara, and I think it was season 2, and that explosion happened, and Barriss is trapped, and Anakin's like, "We gotta save Ahsoka," and she just kneels down. She's like, "Gotta let them go. Like they're dead.
It's fine."
I was like, "Dang, Luminara, okay,
These
all right,
Jedi, man.
Wow."
Which, to be fair, they did take care of themselves, but like, also, what if they didn't?
So true.
Exactly. Yeah. Luminara's fate's really depressing.
Oh yeah, gosh.
Yeah. That's so scary though. Like that whole scene with Luminara was just terrifying.
Yeah.
I remember I was not that small, but I was pretty small, and I saw that, and I was like, "Oh, all right."
Yeah.
That's when people are like, "Oh, Rebels didn't get like cool and dark until like season 3." I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Episode 5 of Rise of the Masters is super dark.
Well, also the one where they went to the Jedi Temple, like we saw Kanan die in episode I don't know what episode was that. Like we had to watch.
We saw the whole Ghost Crew die. We saw Kane's feet on the ground. Like
season 1 is very dark.
Watched Kanan get stabbed through the chest and pushed down a pit, and then what are you?
They're gonna be
about?
Like, "Oh, well, it was just a vision." Like, no, it was still terrifying.
Like we still saw it though. Like
yeah.
Good time.
I thought it was really funny because I got I asked this because there was this one person, they were like, "Oh, well, Clone Wars is being ruined by Disney, and there's not enough blood," and I was like, what does that have to do with anything?
When was there blood in the Clone Wars?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think there ever was.
All I can think of is when they get roughed up, or Cad Bane's blood, but it's not really blood.
I mean, there was blood in this season, so
yeah,
at the very end.
I mean, really, most of the time, when is there blood in any of Star Wars?
Yeah,
really, because it's all cauterized.
Remember in that one episode with Trace and Rafa where they're fighting someone on the elevator, and they pull down, and the guy gets probably split in half.
Yeah.
That was pretty gruesome. And
how is there not blood dripping?
Right.
But still, it wasn't necessary. You get the implication.
You get the idea, yeah, exactly.
And the guy was like, "Well, we didn't hear a," and I was like, "Yeah, we do." And I literally went back, and I was like, "You hear the you hear the grossness, you just don't see it."
Right.
But anyway.
Anyway, they're on the ship, and I got real freaked out because I was like, "Oh, that's when her and Barriss were on the ship with clones, and they had the parasite."
Yeah. That's what I was thinking of this episode. Yeah. But what else happened? Oh, Yoda. Ahsoka's conversation with Yoda I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
Because to me, I think it indicated that Ahsoka maybe was thinking about going back a little bit, and Yoda picked up on it.
I think for Anakin though.
Well. Maybe, but also I think she fighting with the Mandalorians and doing stuff like what she with Maul, I think she realized she missed helping people the way she could as a Jedi. because she couldn't do that when she was like with the Martez sisters or in the underworld.
Or
You
she
know?
tried not to.
Yeah, and I think she missed having the ability to do that good, you know?
Yeah, she really did. And it's funny what Rafa told her at the end, something about you are a Jedi, you know, it's something to that effect, and how that's how I wish the Jedi would be. So yeah, that's in her. That's naturally who she is. She wants to do the right thing, the good thing at any point in time, even if it's at the risk of her own life.
I thought it was cool because I think one time my dad was talking to me, and I always bring up my dad, but we always talk, and he was like, you know, Mace is kind of like how the Jedi want to be, like everything that they want, like no connections, like, oh yeah, you're a civilian, sorry, like that's kind of Mace, but Ahsoka is everything like a Jedi should be.
Right.
So, yeah, I thought that was cool.
Yeah, Ahsoka's like, she has, you know, Anakin and Obi-Wan in her. So she has kind of the perfect role model Jedi for the most part. And
Such good parents.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the best. And then she's got Anakin, who has, you know, who tries to see the best in people and does whatever he can to help others. And so Ahsoka has, you know, both of those teachings in her, which I think almost makes her the perfect Jedi.
Yeah, well, and I think Obi-Wan and Anakin are such a good teaching combination because the things Anakin struggle with are what Obi-Wan is really strongest with. Right. You know, Anakin struggles with being like too attached and letting his judgment be clouded by emotion. And he just doesn't regulate, where Obi-Wan like is better than a lot of Jedi, I think, in that he like regulates his emotion and allows himself to feel it and connect with it, but he doesn't let it control him.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, Obi-Wan was sometimes a little bit too rule abiding and to the letter sometimes, where Anakin obviously was better at knowing when to break the rules when it's the right thing to do.
Yeah,
I think
Ahsoka has levity.
The best of both.
And I think Ahsoka, she absorbed the best of both of them.
It was very son and daughter like relationship, you know, daughter's on the light side, son's on the dark side. They kind of complement each other. And sadly Anakin lost himself.
So that last I'm sorry, the last episode, but there was a convoy, and wow!
No, you're jumping too far ahead, girl.
The convoy's not relevant yet, Lizzie. We'll get there. Yeah, so they have their briefing, and Ahsoka talks to Yoda, and then Rex goes to get his briefing. That Ahsoka is like, oh, that's good news, and I was like, oh no, here it comes.
and then like she gets that like almost like a vision, like audio vision.
She and Maul both do.
Yeah, and I wonder like why that, like, does that mean like why couldn't like other Jedi and stuff see that?
Well, I think maybe Ahsoka having a connection to Anakin and Maul having a connection to Palpatine. But also, I think some Jedi did. Like, you look at Ki-Adi-Mundi, and he gets a feeling before he turns around and sees the clones pointing at him. Ayla kind of looks around. Plo doesn't. He's focusing on flying. He's doing his thing. I mean, I think in the Kanan comics, Balaba says she senses something cold right before Order 66. You know.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I think a lot of Jedi did sense something, and maybe Ahsoka and Maul just sent something stronger because they were the former apprentices of the two like main players.
I like that idea. I also really love Kevin Kiner's score up and like to this point where he's kind of carrying the episode, you know, because no one's really talking, and so he has this really ominous, creepy music going on as we get to Order 66, and then of course he just does a wondrous job at capturing the feeling of Order 66 again. So great. And I mean, I never would have thought that Hayden Christensen's voice would be in a Clone Wars episode, and that's just so cool to hear. You know, and Hayden and Matt, and then Matt says one of the lines from Revenge of the Sith, "What have I done?" That's just like,
and it's like in Rebels when they laid over Matt and James Earl Jones for Vader.
So good.
Yep.
So good.
I love the amount
Yeah.
of detail they put into things. Like they really think it through.
Yeah, they do.
It's so great.
How do we hurt the fans?
Yeah, that too. They consider that too.
Yep.
So he says execute Order 66, and Rex says yes, Lord Sidious. And that was, because Rex doesn't really know Sidious, but he knows now because the chip was activated.
Makes it 10 times scarier.
That was one thing with the clones that scared me with this, because we haven't spent this much time with like chip activated clones before, except I guess kind of tough, but his was not. But it's because like they're themselves, like they're not like they didn't become like robotic, but they're still like they're themselves, and they feel like they're clones. Like Rex says, like, oh, I would be proud of them if they weren't trying to kill us, because they're being like good clones, but they're not themselves either. Like they call each other by their numbers now,
Right.
and like they're just like this is jumping ahead again, but like when the ship is crashing in the finale, like most of the time when we see ships crashing, clones don't like abandon their mission, but they like take self-preservation into account, and try to save themselves and each other. Where these chip activated clones didn't like even try. They didn't care. They just wanted to kill Ahsoka and Rex.
Yeah.
Hard to watch.
Yeah,
it is.
I just really enjoy, because I keep seeing memes everywhere of like, oh, Rex in tears trying to not shoot, and then like Cody. So anyway, I start blasting. I think because like Cody didn't know about the chip, but Rex did, so he knew what was technically going on, or had an idea. So he was like, fine fives.
And that
I
was
also.
you go.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that that scene reminded me a lot of the feature film where Asajj is holding him, sort of like force choking him, I think, and he communicates to Anakin and Ahsoka, and he slips Anakin's name to let them know that something's wrong. So it's like Rex's individual personality and his influences with Anakin and his experiences with Anakin and Ahsoka that help him hold on to that individuality as much as possible, on top of him already knowing what's going on in his head. So I like all those little factors playing into that part.
That's an interesting read of that Clone Wars scene, because I always felt like when I was a kid that it was because Ventress was calling him Anakin. Rex was, and it wasn't Rex calling him Anakin. I've never heard that interpretation of it before.
Really? Oh man, I never heard of that interpretation before.
I think that makes more sense now, but I definitely thought at first, I was like, oh, because Ventress says Anakin or something.
I'll have to think about that. That's interesting.
I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch it.
Yeah, I always kind of like Jonah was saying, I always felt that it was like Rex tipping Anakin and Ahsoka off, that like something was wrong. But that's cool too. I think I think with Rex saying fives, like I have to talk about this real quick.
Of course.
I have to. Like Fives is my favorite Star Wars character, and so the minute that he did that, the payoff to that character, and because I was so sad when he died, because I'm like, man, he kind of died for nothing if Rex doesn't
do anything,
get his chip out or anything, and figure it out. And because of Fives, really, that's why Ahsoka and Rex are still around. If he hadn't tipped her off, that would have gone way differently. And it just feels like that character did not die in vain. Like it almost felt like he was around in the last 2 episodes because of that. And that was like, Dave just did such a great job in making sure that he hit all the feels, because that one got me.
Him Fives, because what always like frustrated me like about Fives, besides him dying for nothing, was that like he was so close to figuring it out. He could have pulled the whole thing apart if it wasn't for Fox.
Yeah.
Safi's clone when we were kids used to be Fox. Like her favorite clone was Commander Fox. I don't know why, because he didn't like. But in the Clone Wars movie, she just really loved Commander Fox. And so like when that episode aired, I was like, how do you like him now, Safi? Look what he did.
Yeah, I really like how this season, it starts off with Echo and it ends up with Fives.
Yes.
It's a great way of bookending it.
That makes me think about Echo. I don't know what happened to the Bad Batch, and that stresses me
out. Oh man, it stresses me out too.
I know. I want a Bad Batch show.
Oh, no,
I
yes.
would love
I
that.
just want to know, like, what happened to them. I don't care if it's in a tweet or whatever. I just want to know, like, where are they?
I know where
Yes.
Echo is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Mm.
Do we actually know where Echo is?
No.
Oh, I'm
Oh, her
that.
dog.
Oh my god, that totally. Wow, I just draxed
almost
that.
gave Corey a heart attack.
Yeah, I'm thinking like, what did I miss?
Yeah, but I also liked how they made it, because like it would have been like the easy route would have been for them to be like, oh, Rex just was so connected to Ahsoka that he was able to resist Order 66 because of that alone. And I'm glad they didn't, because I think
Yeah,
it just adds to the tragedy. But also, like, in the grand scheme of things, Rex isn't, how do I word this, because I don't want John to be mad, but Rex isn't like special, you know?
Oh,
Uh-oh,
son,
No, hear me out.
Leaving this call right now.
Hear me out. No, listen, I love Rex. He's like my favorite clone. But like when it comes to like how he connected with his Jedi, like all the clones love their Jedi, you know? Like, and I don't think necessarily like Rex had that much more of a connection with Ahsoka and Anakin than like Cody did to Obi-Wan or Bly did to Ayla, because they all spent pretty much their whole lives with each Jedi they were with, you know?
yeah,
And I think like maybe Rex a little more just because Anakin was more open with his clones, but even like Plo and Wolf had like a really deep connection, I think, because Plo was really kind to his clones. I think sometimes more understanding with them than Anakin was. And like, I don't know. I just
It's okay,
like,
Zoe. I forgive you.
No, but you understand what I mean? Like,
I get you.
like
I get
Rex,
you. Yeah.
besides knowing about fives, had no
Other qualities that. Yeah.
Like
I got you.
he was another clone in the grand
I
scheme of
got
things.
you.
Okay.
You can stop now, Zoe.
Okay.
Do you guys think that maybe Rex was like genetically modified a little bit? Like, because the fact that he's assigned to Anakin, a part of me wonders if Palpatine gave him more, I guess, free will than usual. No, I think I'm totally wrong, actually. Never
See,
mind.
my favorite theory is that Rex is the clone that fell with Padme and helped her in the sand, and Anakin was like, he helped Padme, he's mine.
Oh, that's cool.
My favorite. I didn't come up with that, but that's my favorite theory.
He can stand the sand.
It's like, he was nice to my wife when I wasn't there. That clone, he's my buddy now. We're best friends.
That's great.
Yeah. Okay, so that happens, and we're all in tears,
And Ahsoka's
and we're
really
crying.
cool.
And
Oh,
Ahsoka's
Ahsoka.
cool. She's
She does
fighting.
that
Oh,
cool
yeah.
thing.
She's super small still, I guess, and can fit through the hole.
I, for a second, like when I know this is really dumb, but like when they looked up in the hole, I was like, wait, did she just like jump into hyperspace? What just happened? I was very emotional, to be fair. So my like emotion-addled brain was like, wait, is she like part Purrgil? What just happened?
Yeah,
She took Thrawn with her.
Yeah.
Gosh, and the lighting department did such a fantastic
Yes.
job with that scene, because it's just like all the light mixed in with the heat of the blaster fire and the fog of the blast. It was just the smoke, I should say. It was just so good, so well done.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it really, really was. The animation just is mind-blowing at this point.
Oh, yeah. Also, the minute that I saw Jesse walk in, because the whole episode, I'm like, okay, so we haven't seen Jesse yet, and he survived the first 2 episodes. And then the minute he walked in, I'm like, oh no,
No, right?
Like here we go.
I feel so bad because like everyone keeps talking about Jesse. I'm like, who's Jesse? Like I only remember him because of this new season. Like I saw him with Kix, and I was like, never heard of Jesse.
Oh no, girl, you need to go back to the
Gotta
earlier
go back.
season.
I know,
Gotta
I know.
rewatch.
And I just thought it was so funny because I was like, okay, he died. Okay,
Oh no.
No! Oh my gosh, I cried.
I was so distraught.
Oh, same.
This is when we were
Same.
talking about this. When we talked about the Phantom Apprentice, you were like, "I'm glad Jesse didn't die," and I was like, "Well, what if Ahsoka and Rex have to kill him?" And you're like, "Oh no!"
Technically, they didn't.
I take it back. I kind of wish he had, died a warrior or something.
Yeah, well, I wish. Yeah, I kind of
Right?
wish.
Yeah.
Like he would have. I don't know.
He
Like
still
I don't
died a
want to.
warrior.
I don't like to say that I wish any of the clones died.
Oh, no,
because
me
I
neither.
love them all. But like, I do. Like a lot of the clones that got to die before Order 66 are lucky in a way.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
even Jedi, even clones that maybe like weren't near a Jedi or like just didn't succeed in killing their Jedi, they still have to be like traumatized by having that free will stripped away from them
Yeah.
for any amount of time,
Right. Right.
I still think that they died good soldiers because technically that's what they were told to do. They didn't have that free will, so
Right.
I don't know.
That's a question that I keep asking myself. Like, is Order 66 something that the order just dissipates over time, or is that something that they just live on with for the rest of their lives? Or do they realize at some point after it's been turned off if
Right.
what did I just do, sort of a thing?
I think
I don't
because
know.
there was the Caleb comics, right? Then
Yeah.
he ran up to a few clones, I thought.
Yeah, well in the canon
And-
comics he runs into Commander Gray and some other clones and they talk
That was
to
still
him.
early on, though.
I think one apologized. No, but like later, one apologizes and lets him go.
What?
So
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I think it wears off eventually, and they have to
Yeah.
live with that, which is
Oh my
even
gosh.
worse.
I have to
Yeah.
actually
Which
reread
is-
that.
I
Yeah.
just want to know where
Yeah.
Cody is.
I thought
How's
it was
he doing?
Oh. I thought it was so because it seems like the only way that it's activated is if like Palpatine goes up to them and says, "Hey, Order 66," So
Well, because all the other
like with
clones in the ship
Gregor,
didn't all
well,
get their...
they did that. They had it on their helmets. They literally
Right, but
like
I don't
put their
think
hand.
they all heard orders.
Yeah.
I thought it was he called a couple clones that he wanted to make sure really got the job done.
Right.
And then there was like a mass chip activation because
Yeah, I
he
think-
does not have the time to call the
Yeah.
whole galaxy.
No.
Well, no, but I think motorcycles are dumb. Anyway, so I mean, because I saw a couple of them like touch their helmets, like they heard something. So I think if they might have just like transferred over to the rest of the clones.
We're gonna Wikipedia this.
I do think it
Oh,
is
Wikipedia's that.
I think it is a mass order because
Yeah.
once the chips are activated, it just like one button's pressed, everything's activated.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and I think like realistically, he probably would have just clicked the button for like everyone, but just like cinematically, it's better to
to show
have the
Rex
call.
and-
Yeah, he
and
does like
call them.
specific calls to
Right, that
specific
makes
people.
sense.
Like, let me
Right.
run down the list to see who's next.
But also, he
Right.
said, Rex says, like, not Rex, Jesse, this is the last episode, but Jesse says, like, we have specific orders to kill Ahsoka, like, even if, like, she's not considered a Jedi, like, she's still...
I don't think Sidious was really thinking about Ahsoka though, with everything going on. I think that they knew what Order 66 was, and their brain activates, and they just know.
Oh, and then
Let's see.
speaking of, since we're talking about Order 66, the fact that it was specified that any of the troopers that disobeyed the order would also be shot. I had mixed emotions. I was happy because because that was one of the questions I remember asking Dave years ago at a New York Comic-Con conference panel, and everyone's asking questions, and I asked him about Rex, Wolf, and Gregor in Rebels, and he somehow gets into the conversation of Order 66 and how there was a sub-order, and I thought, oh my god, I didn't know this was a thing.
Yeah.
And then to hear it in the episode, I was like, oh my gosh,
that's
cool.
awesome.
So
That is so
all right,
cool.
here on Wikipedia it says, although it was impossible for Palpatine to have issued the order to every single commander individually, he did take the time to contact several personally before the order was relayed throughout the army as a whole.
Okay.
Got it.
So
Question answered.
So then, like,
I like
what
to think
happened
that
to
maybe-
Gregor?
I don't
Like,
Gregor-
if he's still on that planet, then, like, does
Well-
it just activate? Like, it doesn't seem like there's any Jedi on that planet anyway.
I wonder if it activates if it like doesn't matter until they maybe like see a Jedi or something. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe.
He
Yeah,
also
like,
got
maybe-
blown up.
I just
Oh,
thought,
there was
like,
one comic though that my dad was telling me about because I don't actually read the comics, except for the Caleb comics. I did read those ones. But there was one time there was a Jedi that was fighting Vader and was like, "I know who you are," and then he sees clones and he says, "Execute Order 66," and he runs for it, and
Oh,
Vader
yeah.
has a lightsaber.
I think that's
Like-
old
Yep.
canon though.
Is it?
No,
Yeah,
that was
I think-
that was in the Vader comics actually.
Oh,
The
is it?
ones,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Okay.
yeah, the ones that came out last year or a couple years ago.
Interesting.
Weird. Maybe
Yeah.
it like it wears off, but then it like reactivates.
Maybe.
you
Yeah.
know?
Like one clone that I think about regularly, and it's weird because you
I
only
know
saw
who
him
you're
in
gonna
one
say. I think I know
episode.
who you're gonna
It's
say.
Cutler Coin.
Yes, Cuddle Coin, exactly.
It's like, what? Where is he? Is this like some subspace signal that gets transmitted and he gets
Yep.
activated too, or is it like does he have to have like a comm link and hear it, sort of a situation?
Right.
I say we
I
get
know.
Dave on the podcast.
I feel like it's a subspace thing, like the chips just activate. But I wonder if it like doesn't really affect anything unless they see a Jedi.
Maybe I
No.
would hope because I wouldn't want him to leave his family. And
Well,
they're-
because
they're,
Right.
he's
wondering
in
what's
the
gonna-
aftermath books. Cutler Quain is like with his family. He's an old
Really?
man.
That's right.
Yeah,
he
there's
was-
one of the little in like the in between chapter that Chuck Wendig does. They mention old man LaQuain. So he's
What?
vibing. He's good. He's cool.
That's awesome. I've been finding out so
Thank
many
you,
weird
Zoe.
little details throughout the last couple of days. Like somebody just told me on the show I did the other day that apparently like there's a group in the comics that look like the Bad Batch. So like, and then Embo's apparently in like the Aftermath books too.
Yeah, he is. This book's has a
Awesome.
lot of cameos.
Oh man, I should really look into that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Aftermath's
same.
good. But yeah, no, I thought of this like a couple minutes ago. I just thought of it. But I like to think that maybe Palpatine had like his list of important Jedi to make sure died, like Yoda,
Mhm.
Obi-Wan, probably maybe Ahsoka, or yeah, definitely Ahsoka. He did call Rex,
Yeah.
But then he also just had like he made like a separate list, like in like Mean Girls. I have that book of everyone that's like mean to them, and he just like Mace Windu called me annoying. He just writes it down. It's like
It kind of reminds me of the Lego Star Wars with Freemaker Adventures. This is a show I think you guys should look into now that Clone Wars
I
is over.
watched
It's really
Freemakers.
great.
I love Freemakers.
Such a great original story, original characters, so funny. But yeah, Palpatine is hilarious in that show, and yeah, he has like a hit list, and Luke is number
no.
1. It's so good.
Great. It's amazing.
But anyway,
Back to Clone Wars. So Ahsoka escapes and Rex tells him to search for Ahsoka. And that broke my heart like even more than it already was. Just cause like I was like maybe he'll like get like I don't know, like get headaches or whatever, like trying to resist it still. But he did succumb to it after seconds,
Yeah.
like totally. It was just hard.
Yeah, I felt so bad because throughout the whole episodes of just Clone Wars, I'm like, okay, we know this happens. I know Ahsoka's fine, so it's fine. I know Darth Maul's fine, so it's fine. So I'm not like as worried or as emotional because I'm like, Rex is gonna be fine, Ahsoka's gonna be fine. Jesse, I have no idea, but I could care less.
Oh no.
no.
So I was just the entire time in that like thought, and yeah, I don't know. I felt bad because I was like, I just need to act surprised. It's fine, just in case. But then, yeah, that was really heartbreaking that Rex was like that. And then they see Cheap.
We're not
Cheap
to
is my
cheap
favorite
yet.
droid.
We still gotta go to
We
Maul.
kind of are.
No, we're not. We have to find Maul first.
Yes, Maul.
But I do think,
Oh.
like you said, like we know that happens. I think that makes the fact that Clone Wars hit so hard so impressive, because like we knew who was gonna make it. We sort of knew who was gonna die, and it was still such a shocking and like emotional ending. I think that's really impressive. That's hard to do, to have a story that everyone knows and tell it so well.
It's weird though. In Rebels, I thought I've seen before that like Rex says like, "Oh, we all had a choice." Like, did you really have a choice?
That's the thing. Like, I think he
Yeah.
did because he made the choice in that instant to tell her find 5s. Like that was his
Right.
last choice.
But
before
he
it
had a
overrode
choice.
him.
Who else had a choice?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we had like Wolf and Gregor, but also we don't know what happened.
Yeah, and maybe
Yeah.
he implied that like coming out of it or like
yeah.
lead, the final stages of it or something
Well,
like that. But.
And that's something I saw some people saying, that like Rex's statements maybe don't like 100% line up. And I mean, not like canon, but like maybe like what, like he said, I'd betray my Jedi, when like he kind of did. But I wonder if that's also him over like that 15-16 year period, just kind of rationalizing what happened to himself, you know?
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
I mean, it wasn't his fault.
I mean,
he was trying to comfort Kanan too. So like,
Right.
I mean, he did betray her, but it wasn't him.
Yeah.
The person that told her fine fives, that was Rex, and he didn't. That person didn't betray her.
Right.
He was trying to help her, but like the person that took over, that was definitely someone who betrayed her. But that's not who he considers himself to be.
Yeah.
thank you, Jonah.
I'm trying to defend Rex at every turn here.
I wonder how Gregor, like, I just think about how Gregor acts in Rebels, and between being in such a big explosion in the Clone Wars and then the chip activating and then inevitably them getting the chip out, this poor guy gone through it. Like,
then he crashed. Also, before that, he crashed the ship and had total amnesia.
oh, right.
Your brain can only take so much.
Like, Gregor's
poor
gone.
Guy, you know?
I thought it was kind of weird because I'm going back now. I'm going all over the place. I'm sorry.
We all are.
Ahsoka goes and jumps on Rex and like hits his head. I thought that was gonna do something.
Me too.
Yeah,
but nothing. I mean, nothing seemed to really happen. But I don't know.
The chips probably have to be pretty, like
in there.
Embedded.
No, I mean, just like pretty, blunt force, like trauma proof, just because they're soldiers, and all of these soldiers are gonna hit their head on pipes and on other things, and like be caught in explosions and get their bell rung once in a while. Right. So like I think the chips have to be overall pretty solid. Like it's very impressive that only one ever malfunctioned.
That's true.
Considering it's these soldiers, you know.
Or at least one that we know of, because who knows, maybe others were discovered and they were just killed or whatever.
Well, I wonder if there's like chip malfunctions, like when they're babies and they just like throw them in the trash. All right, this one's gone.
Oh no! Oh god!
No. I'll take all the baby clothes.
Yes, definitely.
Oh my gosh!
Even if they're trying to kill me, it's fine.
Next topic before I start crying.
So I'll be very surprised if no one cries this episode. So Maul. So we have Maul.
Maul's a person.
He's in his bad box.
Hannibal Lecter
He's
kind of.
Like when you put your dog in a crate when they pee on the floor. That's what Maul is right now. They put Maul's box in a cell, and then Ahsoka comes over and she knocks it. She knocks those clones out, right?
I think she knocks them out.
Yeah, because she does kill a couple clones by deflecting blaster bolts,
right?
But she doesn't really kill.
After that, I mean, in the next episode, she's like, "No, we're not trying to kill no one." Stop.
So she releases Maul, and Maul's like, "Yeah, we're gonna team up," and she's like, "No, I hate you. Go die. Go be a distraction."
Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. How like
it was so funny.
She was saying to the next episode, she's like, "No, they have to. They're men. That they're this is not their fault. We can save them." And then with Maul, she's like, "Listen, do what you got to do. Like, be a distraction." And Maul definitely does that.
Yeah, well, I just thought it was funny because she's like, "You need to go cause chaos," and he's like, "I can't do that," and she's like, "That's all you do." And he's like, "Yeah," like that's pretty much the gist of that conversation. And he's like, "Can I have a lightsaber?" And she's like, "No, I don't care if you die.
I'm not
just
rooting
go
for you." Yeah,
I'm not rooting for you.
But also, it's kind of like how he treated the Mandalorians. He was like, "Die well, Mandalorian."
Yeah.
So. Karma
goes around, comes around. Yeah.
Yep.
But then later he takes off without her. So
there's this funny fan art online that I still think about whenever I see that scene. But it's when she says, "I'm not rooting for you," and someone drew him in like a shocked gasp sort of way. Like, awesome. I thought it was just so funny. I'm gonna have to share it with you guys.
It's so funny. Yeah, no, but Maul, what I was gonna say? Oh, he was talking when she first let him out. He's like, like my master's plan. She says about the clones, and she kind of thinks Maul did it. She's like, "What did you do?" But of course, he didn't do anything. And he says like, "Oh, he didn't know that part of the plan." So it's just interesting to me how much he could have known about Palpatine's plan. Yeah. Because I imagine he wasn't too in the loop with it after Phantom Menace. And we don't know I don't think the clones were really in production yet as a Phantom Menace. I don't think so.
I think
Are
they
they?
might have been.
Yeah, I
because
think
Sifo Dyas was
Right.
they already
yeah.
ordered them.
Yeah,
Mhm.
at some point before that, because it was Valorum who
That's
enacted
right, it
that.
was.
Yeah.
So it's just it's interesting how like Palpatine didn't let anyone know the full plan.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
Which is
it's a
smart.
smart thing to do
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you don't want anyone to be running around with that information.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the only one who knew about it was Plagueis before Sidious killed him, and I think that's really it. But I think it's interesting how like Maul goes from really anxious and just completely losing his mind in the first 2 episodes, and then once he realizes what the plan is, he sees like the brilliance in it,
Of it.
and he's just like casual now. He's ready.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
that acting was so good because
Yep.
like both in just like the animation faces and like with Sam Witwer, because like he was so terrified of
Mhm.
Palpatine, which is totally fair. But like that was so cool. And then now like he is a little bit not confident, but like he kind of knows everything that's
Right.
gone
Yeah.
down.
I'm
Maul's
somewhat
such an-
impressed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Maul's
Oh,
such
yeah,
an
definitely.
interesting character because I watched Phantom Menace for like the 3rd time this quarantine because I keep being like, I'm going to start a Star Wars marathon. I watch Phantom Menace and then I don't watch anymore. And then like a couple weeks later, I'm like, I'm going to start a Star Wars marathon and watch Phantom Menace. It's just like a cycle. But I
Right.
watched it today and it was like especially after seeing these episodes, like I know everyone and their mother has made jokes about how Maul's really quiet in Phantom Menace and then can't shut up like forever and everything else. But like it was just kind of funny because like when he had Obi-Wan hanging by that ledge and he's like swinging his lightsaber onto the floor, I was like, "Where's your monologue? Like, where's that Sam Witwer monologue, dude?"
Yeah.
But it's just interesting because Maul has been so many people. He's been like the quiet, brooding assassin, and then he's been like the deranged, spider-legged lunatic, and then he's been the calm and collected and pre-planning crime lord and Mandalorian leader kind of. And then he go back to Rebels and he's kind of crazy again and he's really losing it. And I think Sam Witwer has played all of those, most of those roles very, very well and shown the difference.
I just love the like idea of Maul having a resume and like being like apprentice one, and then
Lunatic.
crime leader in another.
I want to write up a resume for Maul now.
You really
Spider.
should. You really should.
I'll steal your Padawan.
Oh, man.
Abilities include surviving in. Well, I was gonna make a joke, but I'm not funny.
Cockroach.
Yeah, surviving cockroach.
But yes.
Yeah. Well, we're
Surviving in garbage circumstances.
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah. So anyway, Maul is causing chaos, and
Yes. Those poor clones.
that was rough to watch.
They keep slicing body parts.
I was
Yeah.
kind of like, man, maybe Ahsoka should have given him a lightsaber. Like, this is just a lot.
I feel like a lightsaber would have been worse.
I don't know.
Probably.
I would think I'd rather get cut in half by a lightsaber than a piece of metal flying at me.
What about a door, man?
Well,
Yeah, those clones did not die well.
no, it was like the hallway scene of Vader at the end of Rogue One.
Yeah.
And like it didn't have the
Without a
same like
lightsaber.
moody lighting and stuff that scene did that makes me really love it, but it was like in terms of brutality,
Yeah.
so much worse.
Kind of funny.
Yeah.
The power
that
behind
bad?
it, yeah.
Yes.
Is that bad?
Yes.
Okay.
They also did such a deep cut with one of the clones that Maul took down. One of the clones was like, he's like Ridge something or other, and Ridge was a clone all the way back in the Clone Wars movie on the Battle of Teth, and they brought him
no.
back for Maul to slaughter. And I was like, oh no, I think he
That's
might
so
be the clone that gets
heartbreaking.
the door. And
Aw.
so he lasted
fine.
all the way. He's fine. He's okay. But
Maybe
I
not
think,
after the crash, but continue.
right.
That
There was something about like a door chopping some body part and have with the arm, and Maul doing that. I'm just thinking like you were in similar circumstances once.
Yeah. Well,
But-
it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like we've seen people get cut in half and stuff in Clone Wars before, but like and by like doors and metal and stuff, but somehow it was just like because a lot of times it cuts away really quickly.
Yeah, wasn't this
And like
brutal?
it may be cut from the exact shot quickly in this, but you were still in the scene, and that it was just rough to watch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like there were, but it's also like right now I just feel like there's so many slices. Like there was the one in like the Trace and Rafa episode I was talking about. Then there's this one, and then there was like the one in Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I was like, ugh.
Well, there's in the Citadel arc, a clone gets cut
Oh,
in half.
yeah,
by
that was
a
brutal.
droid.
that was rough.
That was rough.
That was so sad.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
but Maul gets the arm from that clone and takes his
Oh,
arm
yeah.
brace, his comlink.
I think that the coolest thing about these Maul scenes is like we've never really seen a Force wielder just go through people like that, just using the Force, no saber, nothing else, just the Force. And that was like, you know, like I love the Vader hallway scene in Rogue One, but like this one just topped it. Like the way
I
he's
think
just
so.
the way he's flinging
Like,
people and
like
so
it was such an interesting contrast too, because when we see like Ahsoka and Rex going through, they have the weapons and the armor, and they're
Right.
doing worse because they have morality and they don't want to hurt people. Where Maul does
Maul's
not
like,
care. Yeah.
I thought it was funny because he keeps like pulling out the panels, and it reminded me of like a Legend of Zelda game, because like you'll go in a room and on the bottom like the little tiles will come up and it'll just like swing at you and kill you. But yeah, that was.
I don't know. I think I just want the Lego Clone Wars game part 2.
Yes.
The first one's only the first like two seasons I think in the movie, and I want the rest of this because I kind of want to play that as Maul. That scene. I want to pull, like, I don't want to kill clones, obviously, but I want to pull stuff off the wall and throw it at people. Like,
yeah. You know,
That
it
sounds like
reminds
fun.
me of Force Unleashed, one of the levels where Starkiller uses wall panels to deflect blaster bolts. And the minute that Maul did that, I'm like, look at Sam Witwer. He gets all the Force
Look at him.
powers.
yeah, that was, Maul. I don't know. Maul's like, he's so cool. Like, I hate him, but like, he's so cool.
Well, and this also for anyone who was saying that, like, oh, the season isn't dark enough. Listen,
That was
I think that just proved otherwise. Like,
Yeah.
Seriously.
yeah.
I think the thing too, people are weird with arguing whether or not a Star Wars thing is dark enough. Like, I don't know. It's like, I don't think it has to be dark.
Story's great.
You know?
As long as
But,
as
like,
long as it serves the story. You know,
I just do think it's weird people are like, oh, Clone Wars is better because it's so much darker than Rebels. We've already established in this show that Rebels is really dark even at the beginning, but Clone Wars, even in the later seasons, kind of flip-flop sometimes between like really ridiculous, funny episodes, like when like R2 and 3PO go on a little adventure, you know, and are doing their thing. The arc right after that is the Umbara arc.
Umbara arc, yeah.
Like, that's such a juxtaposition. And I don't know. Like, I think,
true.
And I'm glad the Bad Batch and the Martez sisters arc was like relatively lighter, you know, because I think it made Siege of Mandalore hit more.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I actually feel like the Bad Batch arc was one of the darker arcs of Clone Wars, just because, like, when you see Echo, it's so, oh man, it's just so haunting and
Something out of a horror house,
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
Exactly.
like death. People seem to count
yeah.
darkness by death toll.
But,
So that's what I'm using for this.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I just,
You know.
yeah, I feel like the Clone Wars and Rebels, like how Dark Rebels was not different, but slightly different, because like with Clone Wars, it's like actual death, and like Ezra's with that whole, when she was in the temple, it was like that anxiety that he had that like everyone was going to die, and like the anxiety of like, I'm not good enough, and I'm going to lose everyone again. Like that's a lot for me, that's a lot darker, because like you can sometimes relate to it, and it's like, ooh.
Like, I generally don't like comparing Clone Wars and Rebels, because I think like obviously they're similar, but I think they're so different in so many ways. I think it's hard to compare. Like, I don't know, like they're just different, like thematically.
They're both good shows.
Tone wise, structure wise, they're very different.
Yeah.
You know.
Definitely.
So yeah.
But we do get cheap.
Yes, I was just going to say, when do we get to him?
Cheap. Yeah, so we're to the droids. I was so excited for that R7 reunion. I didn't even realize I wanted one until I saw R7. I was like, oh my god, R7! I loved that droid as a kid. I had
Yeah,
a little
R7 is
figure.
amazing.
My heart goes to Cheap. I'm sorry. It only goes to
Cheap's
one droid
very good.
in each show.
But she brings the droids in on her plan.
And I like that
so
she gave him a
happy.
choice.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, she said it's going to be dangerous. Can you help me?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I really
And they're
love
like,
that.
yeah, girl.
R7 made me so happy. But she also goes into the computer and looks for Five's file.
And then she has like Anakin's code, and I was like, you
Well,
guys.
the code is the date that the Clone Wars movie aired.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That was pretty neat.
So,
I love that.
but I wonder, like, I don't know if in universe the code's supposed to mean anything to Anakin, but it's the day he met Ahsoka. So is that why it's his code, like, in universe? Is it still the date? You know? I don't know how dates work in Star Wars. It must be a nightmare because there's so many planets and, like, different... I can barely keep track of time zones on Earth.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Like, I couldn't even imagine...
Star Wars, yeah.
Like, imagine trying to do an interplanetary podcast in the Star Wars universe. That'd be horrible.
Oh,
no thanks.
I never thought I'd have to see Nala Se again because Nala Se, the way she treated Fives was like the greatest thing about Nala Se scenes is when Fives just like starts pistol whipping her with the blaster, and then she's I hate her, but a great villain.
yeah.
But I genuinely think that if Rex was not under Anakin's command, he would have been killed by Sidious at some point, because the fact that Rex actually filed a report on what happened, I think that the only reason he's alive is because of Anakin. And Sidious probably knew that if Rex was just taken out all of a sudden, there would be suspicion on Anakin's part. Because, I mean, Rex just straight up was like, yeah, there's a possibility that these chips are going to cause us to do things we don't want to do. And that's a pretty big risk. And I love that he did that for Fives. Oh, it's so great.
Oh,
it's so good.
Boy. Poor boy.
Yeah, and then so luckily Ahsoka's able, because his report was pretty vague, because Rex didn't know. But Ahsoka's luckily able to figure out exactly what it was from everything. And so the mall, and then Ahsoka, and they kidnap Rex. That did make me laugh, watching Rex be carried on top of three droids.
By 3 droids.
Yeah.
No,
It's so funny.
But that surgery was so quick.
It was.
Yeah.
He was in and out.
I'm not saying like, oh, that's so like that's so weird, but because it's Star Wars. But like, how conveniently quick.
See, okay, so this is what I mean. So going, I don't mean to like diverge, but I have to address it. In the Rafa and Trace arc with the space laundromat, that's what I mean. Like, you have the scientific advanced technology to take out something that's deep in your brain. But then you also have a laundromat that looks so much like an Earth's laundromat. Like, I wish that it could have been a little bit more.
I mean, are there better?
It was like the poor places technically.
Yeah, I know,
but you guys did bring up I know.
Yeah. I mean, are there better ways to clean clothes? I think we got it figured out pretty much on Earth.
I think there is. Like,
yeah, there has to be.
I want to think there is, because my Sunday laundry days are not fun.
I feel that.
I need Star Wars to have that advanced technology.
Yeah.
We could copy from and be like, this is how we do our Star Wars laundry.
I still love the space laundromat. It makes me happy. I just like seeing regular things, but in Star Wars. I also really like the space like tractor in that episode. That was very good.
Did you guys notice the Aerobesh in that episode for the laundromat that was owned by a Calrissian at one point?
Was it? I didn't read that.
Yeah, it says Calrissian something or other. So they bought it from a Calrissian.
Lando's another person who would have a very rich resume.
Yeah, definitely.
Lando went from like being like basically just like a gambler to like a governor of a city. I want to know how that happened. Yeah. Where's that movie?
And
how did he get there?
He was a puffer pig owner at one point.
Right, yeah.
He was a miner.
So yeah.
I just like, we don't have any in new canon, we don't have anything on like how he like became it wasn't a governor, but that's basically what it was, like an entire city. Like how'd you swing that?
How did that happen?
Right.
I've been trying to look for Orlando's like yellow shirt so I could just wear it. I just want
Which yellow shirt? His like pattern
No, just the yellow shirt. It has like the flap on it.
I like his patterned one. I have the
But-
fabric for it. I just need to learn how to sew.
But
Do it.
going back to that surgery, I love that she did that mantra that we saw in
Yes.
Rogue
Oh,
One.
yeah.
Yes.
And what the, like at the same time I thought it was cool, but I also thought, man, what is she trying to do? What is this trying to do
guess-
overall?
Yeah.
Metal detector.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I still don't know what like she did. Like obviously, like I guess she found the chip, but like I don't know what. Like I guess the force. She just
She
will
like use the force to pull it
be on her
closer to
side.
the-
Yeah, just pull it closer to the edge so they can pick it up. Yeah, that was such a cool scene though. I
But it
think
was cool. Yeah.
what I'm
Mhm.
really loving about like this episode, we've already talked so much about how like things in this episode reminded us of other things in Star Wars. And I think that's so cool that Star Wars is so interconnected now that we can watch something and be like, that reminds me of the other Star Wars, you know?
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Even if they're technically not related like at all.
Mm.
Right.
Yeah, it makes it feel more connected.
Yeah.
I just feel like the whole surgery thing, I was like, this entire like Star Wars, I'm like, I don't understand how that happens, but it's great. I love
It
it.
works.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so she and Rex says it too.
Mhm,
Which
yeah.
is great.
That was so
But then
cool.
so the clones get through the door and Ahsoka's able to deflect and then Rex picks up the pew pew and
The
takes-
pew pew.
The
he
pew.
doesn't have it on stun yet.
Oh yeah.
So-
And then she was like, we're not trying to kill anyone. So
To be
like
fair, that was an emergency. To be fair to Rex,
Mhm.
so because she got shot in the arm.
Yeah.
yeah.
You can see in his face too, just the pain of having to shoot his brothers.
Well, it reminded me of like the Umbara arc,
Yeah.
like
Oh,
how
gosh.
distressing it was for all of them, but it seemed like especially Rex to have to kill their brothers.
Yeah.
I think-
okay, I don't think we talked about this real quick in the last episode, but like we didn't talk about when Ahsoka and Rex are talking, and then she's like, without the war, us clones wouldn't exist, but
Oh, we didn't say
you're my
Right.
good friend, and I'm like, ah.
When they saluted, it reminded me of when Ashley and,
And-
Bradley Baker saluted to each
Yeah.
other.
Saluted.
Oh
Mhm.
my goodness.
I think Dave made these
stop.
episodes.
He did
with
it
the
on purpose.
Yeah, I think he did these
Little
whole
cowboy hat
episodes
man.
with the intention of making Jonah cry. He's like,
Oh,
so how
yeah.
how can we up the ante here?
How
with
can we
Rex?"
do this?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
Yeah.
gosh, and I loved your reaction videos, Corey.
Oh,
I
thank
mean,
you,
I
yeah.
wish I had recorded them myself, but I wasn't in the headspace for it. But yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
the-
in the dark.
I lived vicariously through you.
these last couple episodes, it was like every morning I'd come downstairs on like Friday or Monday for the last one, but I'd be like, "You ready to watch Clone Wars?" And I was like, "No." He was like, "Sit down." I was like, okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
they're
so
setting
Shattered.
everything on stud, and then what? I don't remember what happens after. It's all blur.
Well,
It kind of
well,
ends there, right?
yeah, Shattered
Yeah.
ends
Right.
there, and
Mhm.
ow. And then I didn't realize until Saturday that the last episode was airing on May the 4th. I thought it was gonna be the next Friday. Like no one told me. I thought I had a week to recover. And then like Saturday I saw some people I'm like, man, why is everyone's like saying May the 4th like Clone Wars? Like what?
I
And
saw.
then, like I was like, what's going on? And they looked it up and I was like, wait, I'm not ready.
I saw
Yeah.
this like video, and it was like Dave Filoni through the first and second arc, and it was like, it's okay, steady, steady, steady. Oh, hi, Dad.
I saw.
Hey, Dad.
Oh, hey, Sal.
But then like the last one,
Hi, Axel.
the last arc, Dave was like, okay, let's go, emotions. Like, but yeah, hi, Dad.
So for
Okay.
those listening, in case this doesn't get edited out, Sal is doing some karate moves in the background.
Doing some ninjutsu. Yeah, hi,
Oh,
Dad.
is that what? Okay, yes, that's what it is. Yeah.
Dad, would you like to say any thoughts on?
We just finished talking about
Clone Wars.
Shattered.
Yeah, we just finished talking about Shattered.
Shattered. Yeah, that was Clone Wars is awesome.
It is.
I don't have much else to say about it, except I think one of my main takeaways, the music from the last two episodes is like the dopest in the world.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
it's very like Vangelis styles, but like it was really cool. and fresh. And you guys all know how I like my Star Wars new and fresh. Yeah.
Okay, what about overall feelings for the next and last episode?
Next and last episode. Oh, for both? Overall feelings? I loved it. I watched it all yesterday, all like together, like as the movie, like as the 4 episodes. It's no surprise that it was awesome, as I'm sure everybody else probably agrees. Oh, there was something. Yeah, there was something like besides the clone getting stomped. What else was there?
Cheap.
Oh yeah, people like cheap. I also like cheap. Yeah. Oh, I was putting together a bunch of stuff, so I went back and I read all the interludes from the Ahsoka book.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
And none of it lines up.
Well, it doesn't not line up in the way that I thought it is.
Where's the ray shield?
Yeah, except for that. That's the only hard evidence. But the like dialogue switches in and out of books all the time. So that's not really an issue. The ray shield was like bigger, but I thought that her sabers were buried on Mandalore. At no time does it say that ever. It just says she left her sabers.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
It does not say where she was. I just assumed it was Mandalore because it kind of all took place from Mandalore. And I thought that's, I'm like, wait, so is this moon in the Mandalore system? Is this the Mando 4 moon? Like, what are we doing here? Until I finally went back to the book and I was like, oh no, like we didn't say Mandalore at all in this chapter.
Oh, interesting.
Kept it
So
vague.
yeah, that's the biggest thing that was my like, wait, I kept waiting for her to go back to Mandalore.
Yeah.
I was like, so they crash and then she goes back and tells Bo like, peace. Like, or how do we, but yeah, then I went back to the book and they don't go back to Mandalore.
Got it.
Somebody did like an edit of the last like the audiobook.
Oh, I saw that.
Ashley narrating Ahsoka dropping her lightsabers right over that scene, and it fits
That was
perfectly
rough.
as she drops it.
Oh, I have
Okay.
not seen this. So
Yeah,
cool.
Corey, send that to me immediately.
I will. I'll link you guys to it.
Oh, good.
That's something that I would have great
Yeah.
interest in.
It's really good.
It's really good. It made me cry, but that's not a surprise.
Oh.
It's true.
It's not.
It's not. Breaking news on Star Wars Geek Girl.
I cried this morning over a TikTok of a puppy, so I think I'm losing it, honestly.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's a great scene.
Join us, Dad.
I have to go finish my Duolingo.
But you could speak Spanish on the podcast.
Okay. Y Venator class Star Destroyer es muy
Are you learning
grande.
Spanish?
Sí, mi amigo.
Oh.
Necesito estudiar.
¿Necesitas estudiar?
Estudiar mucho español
All right.
para trabajar.
Ooh.
Necesito más languages. Everybody in Star Wars speaks 17 languages. Why am I a boring human?
That's true.
I need to actually practice my Spanish too, because
Yeah.
I break halfway. I'm like, okay, back to English.
Sabine can speak Wookiee and Aqualish and Mandoa and like everything.
What?
That was actually one time we did a hospital visit, and here in SoCal, a lot of the kids speak Spanish. So Liz was Sabine and was able to talk to a lot of the kids that none of the other costumed people could, including me. I was Kanan. I was like, what's up? Actually, talk to Sabine. She knows things. You know, and Sabine was like, niños. Mucho niños.
Yeah, mom's good.
Yeah. So that was like really cool. And I was like, yeah, that's probably a thing that should happen more.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to learn sign language for trooping in case, you meet a kid that needs to sign. But
Oh, yeah.
That would be cool.
Did we do a show that like had sign language one time? I think we did a San Diego Comic-Con or a WonderCon, and they had somebody off to the sign like,
oh,
yeah.
You said, cool. You Jedi scum.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Like, there was a few with like lightsaber that I don't know if they were able to like really translate that, but I don't know. I don't know sign language. But yeah. So this episode, Dad.
Wow, yeah, we went off on a few tangents there.
A few.
Victory and death. Yes.
Yeah.
So how does it start off again?
So they're in the medical bay.
Yeah.
They're
Medical
trapped.
bay, yeah.
Ahsoka Tano and Rex stand trapped in the medical bay of a Star Destroyer.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like slowly opening the door.
Yeah.
And she's hanging out there like a rebel trooper with a gun pointed at the door going like, wait. Except instead of just getting shot when the door opens, she goes, now, boom! And like takes out like 4 troopers with a door.
Oh,
He's like, all right, let's not hurt them. Boom,
But-
right off the bat.
Yes. And she does tell Rex to set his thing to stun so they don't kill any more than they already have.
Right. Especially Maul.
Which to be fair, isn't, well, okay. Unless you count releasing Maul as an action Ahsoka took. She didn't really kill much people. I think Rex killed more people than her.
Yeah, I think she killed a couple in that first scene when she was like on the table and they were all shooting at her. I think she like deflected a couple back at them, but she didn't really, besides, releasing Maul, like you said.
Yeah.
I guess it goes back to what Yoda was trying to teach Ezra, and what Ezra ultimately taught Iron Squadron was that how you choose to fight is just as important as what you fight for. So in moments that call for no death, let's take that course of action.
Right.
If we desperately need to get out of a situation and we need to kill in order to survive, then I guess that's our only chance. But if there are other opportunities, other ulterior alternate paths, let's take that one.
Yeah.
That's what Yoda said when he beheaded Commander Gree and all the Klingons.
And Commander Gree, homie, number 1.
Oh man, Commander Gree.
Just go back to the episode and ambush where it's like, you all have individuality, like, and then boom, just takes his head off.
I still remember the first time watching Revenge of the Sith after Clone Wars was like airing for a little bit as a kid. When Yoda beheaded the clone troopers, my dad pointed to one. He's like, "Hey, that's the clone that helped Ahsoka that one episode," and I just burst into tears. I was like, "No,
Dude,
it can't be."
When we first watched it, after like watching Clone Wars for a while, like Lizzie died at the Order 66 scene, and since then she still doesn't like to watch that movie very often.
It's rough.
Yeah,
but I remember that was like, because we had watched it, like you were probably younger too, and so it didn't really care that much.
Process.
But like, like that whole scene happens and we watched it and it was like sad, but that was it. But when she watched it, she'd be like, Plo Koon!
It's probably even worse now after Siege of Mandalore, I'm sure.
But also, Mom was Ayla at the time.
That's true.
That would...
That'll do
it.
Also, I really like that Maul was basically like the final boss in a Kingdom Hearts game.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's just walking around like, mind shields. Like,
that's funny that your mom being Ayla made Order 66 sadder, because when I was a kid, my dad being a stormtrooper made all the stormtroopers getting shot really funny. I would like, whenever we would watch like A New Hope and all the stormtroopers are dying, I'd be like, "Hi, that's you." And then he does the same thing with me when Jawas die.
Oh no.
Costuming family problem.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But
I don't know if anybody's ever laughed at me when I died, because since I'm Kanan now.
Oh no, that's too soon.
Zoe says that you're not
Too
dead.
soon.
You're fine. See, you're right
just
here.
saying.
You're fine.
Just saying.
You're fine.
Like, nobody yet has gone to a troop and be like, sit down.
One time, like right after that episode aired, I had a troop and I was Sabine, and not that many kids had seen Rebels, but this one had, and there was a Kanan figure, and this one little girl was like, "Hey, you're friends with him, right?" And I was like, "Oh yeah," and this other kid goes, "He's dead."
Oh,
I was
God.
like, well.
And you were like, bucket on.
Yeah.
That's what Lizzie does all the time. If she doesn't want to deal with people, she just puts her bucket on. In fact, she just troops with her bucket on.
Yeah, I have a wig, so.
I did that when I sat next to Sam Witwer. I was going to take it off for the episode.
This story.
When I sat down next to Sam, I had the helmet on. I was going to take it off because like it was suffocating and I needed to watch the episodes. But I was like, nope, but Sam Witwer's there. I can't.
Wait, you watched the whole episode with the helmet on?
Kind of.
Oh.
I mean, I was blind Kanan. I took mine off.
Genuinely, when Kanan died for the first time, I think I saw Sal I saw you right after that episode, like when it aired on Disney XD, and I'm like, dude, you good? Like,
that was after that episode aired. I just got texts from like tons of people like, "Are you okay?" And I cried myself to sleep. I was a mess. My dad will attest. I was a disaster, but he's fine. So it's all right. He's fine.
And
So you
Sal,
cried for nothing.
you were there when we first watched those episodes at the screening, and then after that, I had to go on the stage and ask Dave Filoni questions.
Yeah.
And there I am with tears in my eyes and trying to collect myself as I go up the stage after the stage. I was just a mess. I was like, what?
Didn't Tracy give you a box of tissues?
I still have the box of tissues that Tracy gave me. So that's my it's just a regular box of tissues, but to me, it's the Jedi Knight box of tissues
Nice.
that I got at Lucasfilm the day that we saw that. You know, I'm gonna
that
make
was the first episode too.
It was like Jedi Knight, and then plus the World Between Worlds. I think.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, okay.
Was
we're
Doom
totally off tangent.
Wasn't it Doom
We
after
are.
Jedi Knight?
Doom.
Doom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah, there was a lot.
Kanan's death is still the saddest, I think,
It's
in all
fine.
Star
Oh, yeah.
Wars.
I will
Totally.
say that even people that I troop with that were not super into Rebels were still I don't watch the show much and I'm not into it, but I hope I don't think I hope nothing happens to Kanan, because it would be really hard to troop with you. Because you'd be walking around and they'd be like, I don't like Rebels, but
Oh man.
But
Clone Wars, also a good show.
Yes.
Pretty solid, yeah.
It's pretty solid. Yeah.
Pretty
I've watched
solid.
it for a while. It's good.
Yeah,
it's
man.
good time.
It just ended, in fact.
Yeah, it just ended. That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
That's true. It does. But I am eager to look forward to whatever else comes in the future from Lucasfilm Animation.
Hey, just so you know, we're still podcasting about it, so it's not ended yet.
The show ended.
No.
It's never over.
It ended.
No.
The show's over.
No.
This is the therapy
yeah,
session
about it.
afterwards.
Yeah.
This is what this is.
Yeah.
We're talking out all our feelings. This is what podcasts are, actually.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars therapy.
Mm-hmm.
But so what? So we haven't gone past the part where Rex has his guns to stun. That's it. That's all.
Yeah.
We've
Oh, when they
Stunned.
bust out the door?
Yeah.
Boom.
And also Rex has destroyed the escape pods to keep Ahsoka from escaping.
Smart.
Already.
Also,
Yeah.
soft.
So
Why?
they're stuck. So Ahsoka's like, well, we have a shuttle. We had that shuttle we took Maulin on, I guess. Was it
Maul
the same shuttle or?
destroys the hyperdrive.
Yeah,
That's
Maul
right.
goes in
The
and
whole
just
It was
thing.
that
epic.
was so cool though, and it's
Yes.
like it reminded me of in Rebels at the end of Fire Across the Galaxy when everything's collapsing around
Yeah.
Kanan and the
Yeah.
Inquisitor when they're fighting. That's what it made me think of.
You mean what was? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I was thinking of Gregor.
I was also thinking of what do you call it? What's the other episode? The Stealth Strike? Is it Stealth Strike? The one
Oh,
with
yeah.
Rex,
Gravity well.
where they defeat the interdictor?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I think That's
Como se
probably
llama?
That
was-
Interdictor class
Funny
Star
if-
Destroyer.
Funny enough, that episode, Ezra is determined not to kill anyone, and then Chopper ends up destroying the whole thing with everyone in it.
Yeah.
So this is kind of similar, where
Mhm.
Ahsoka
Yeah.
is determined not to kill everyone, but everyone and dies anyway. So.
I
yeah.
just saw this TikTok that my dad doesn't find funny, but I do, and it's like it's Chopper, and he's like, "Mother, I crave violence." Oh, but,
She showed me another one that was Chopper, and he's like, "Anarchy, anarchy," and then Ezra's like, "I don't know what that means, but I like it."
Ezra would say that.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
So welcome to
but
Star Wars
so-
on TikTok.
So the hyperdrive room. So he just kind of pulls it down all around him, and he chokes. He force chokes people, and he kills all the clones. And I
he
was like,
deflected
love-
a blaster with a helmet.
Helmet, yes. I love that
that was-
shot.
Oh yeah, that was dope. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm not sure how that works.
I would say
but I guess
blocked,
it's
and not quite
fine.
deflected, but yeah.
yeah.
Blocked,
but-
it's not.
So then the ship drops out of hyperspace over this moon,
It had that,
I need to know where it
This
is.
mysterious
too. I'm
moon that
curious.
is unnamed currently.
What moon is it? I feel like it's so important, but like,
well, I guess
where is it?
we need to find the galactic map and look for Mandalore, and then whatever is in the path.
See what's on the way from.
Joey's doing it.
See what's on the way.
There's like a Star Wars galactic map that someone made. It's
See
like,
what's along the way.
Mhm.
there's like a website.
Okay, but
We're gonna figure this
the
out.
trade
This
route
is-
or the Hydian way?
Oh, God.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna be the first ones to figure it out, and then Dave's gonna be
Nice.
like, actually, it's whatever. It's fine.
It's not any of those moons, guys.
Yeah.
It's
Okay. So
Why is the cursor so good?
it's
Oh, no.
Are we placing her where we think her grave is? What are we doing?
God.
well, it's a lightsaber, and then when it's there something I can click. Where's Mandalore? I can't
for
search.
hardcore OG,
I want to say you want to go up a little bit.
Up,
And then
First
maybe
of
to
all-
the right.
to the
First of all, turn
right.
Legends off.
Yeah.
Right,
Well,
yeah.
what if it's something from Legends? I don't know how to turn it
Alleviate
off.
some of
Hold
that
on.
confusion.
I don't know how to turn it off.
It's okay. We can
All right.
ignore the blue
Yes.
dots.
Yes, no blue dots.
Okay.
I guess.
All right, where's Mandalore? There it is. There's Mandalore.
There's
Oh, good.
Mandalore,
Okay, and
there's
then Coruscant should be somewhere in the middle,
Here.
no? Okay,
Here.
good. Okay.
So it looks like the purple lines are hyperspace, right?
Oh, okay. So they had to be on the
Yes.
hyperspace route.
I would assume.
You turned them
Yeah.
off.
Well, I just want to make sure they were right. I turned it back on. So the closest hyperspace lane to Mandalore is I can't see it. Ahsoka's in the way.
Hydian way.
How do you wait? So they would go this way, and then I guess here to Coruscant,
Yeah, something
But I
like
think
that.
it was probably closer to Mandalore.
closer to Mandalore.
Yeah.
Like
So-
I think they got sidetracked early in their journey, I would think.
Click
Yeah.
on that Taurus or whatever that
Taurus.
was.
Ooh, the Hates Consortium.
Terrace.
Oh wait, no, that's Legends.
I don't know. I'm not
Taurus.
familiar.
Corson.
Or I don't
What's
know if moons
Coruscant?
are moons on here. I don't know.
No.
Are they
but
counted as planets
check
though?
and see.
Yeah, I'm looking
Taurus.
that planet up to see if there's any pictures of it.
I love how we're
Um,
trying to figure this out.
Corson. It's a yellow moon.
Coruscant.
No, I don't see moons for Taurus. What's
Yeah.
another
There's
planet?
Coruscant
Taurus is
is
in a lot
on
of
the
space.
way. Coruscant's like at this junction here.
In fact, what did I just read? I just read something where Taurus is like one of the big
No, I don't see any moon mentioned.
ABC.
All right.
In
So I mean, it
Coruscant.
could be something
Wait.
from Legends because Dave Filoni is pulling stuff from Legends.
Yeah.
That's
well,
true.
Taurus
too.
is
What's
originally
this?
from like Knights of the Old Republic. But
Bogdan.
it
Oh,
shows
yeah.
up in canon a few times.
Let's see. Where else?
Right.
Terrace.
Oh, that's what it is. In Dark Disciple, like where they go to find like Dooku's ship or something, it's over
Mhm.
Terrace
Oh, damn.
at one
nice.
point.
Wow. Sal.
Look at you. Look at that dark
Don't act
disciple
like you don't know me. You podcasted with me before. You know how this is.
It's true. It's just sometimes you shock me.
Uh-huh.
He's walking
Now,
Wikipedia.
Wayland holds a very special place in my heart because Wayland was where the Emperor's secret storehouse was in Legends. And in Legends, the Emperor's secret storehouse held Luke Skywalker. Yeah.
Oh,
Luke is my
man.
favorite
Skywalker,
bit of
who was
Legends.
cloned from the found hand and saber of
I
Luke.
totally forgot about that storyline. That was nuts.
That was
It's
on Wayland.
Luke with
Legends are
two
crazy.
U's.
No,
And
I
that's
don't.
also where
So-
Joru's Kabath was.
Bogdan here has 20 moons
Really?
Oh.
Oh, I don't see anything on their wiki.
on the Wikipedia.
Oh, wiki, I mean. Yeah, I'm in the canon
Oh,
tab.
I'm on Legends. Ha. That's probably why.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
see anything here.
Bogdan is where
Bogdan.
Django and Dooku make the deal.
Yep.
What's here?
hmm
Where is it? Click.
I
on
was hired by a man called
Shambhala.
Tyrannus over the moons of Bogdan.
Man, if
How
only
is
we
the
knew
next
how
one?
fast they were going.
I know.
Right.
Well, I think
we knew how
Big
fast they
map.
were
Didn't-
going.
Didn't
Yeah.
Pablo Hidalgo once say
If-
that like hyperspace goes as fast as the plot requires it to, or something like
yeah.
that?
Right.
If Ahsoka left Mandalore at 2:30 p.m. towards Coruscant, going 0.5 plus
But
hyperspace
what about
light
like
speed,
different planet
and-
time zones?
Maul destroys the hyperspace engine
At this
3 hours
time.
into the journey.
Right.
How many miles into the hyperspace route is Ahsoka from
Oh,
Mandalore?
man, I hate
can't-
those
Sorry,
kind
did
of
I say
math
miles?
problems.
Parsecs. I meant parsecs.
I can't find any moons for any of these canon planets.
Rental.
No.
Brental.
Yeah.
Dave addresses this like in
Yeah.
the next Clone Wars download. Or
I know.
something.
And then Yeah.
You would hope.
You would hope, exactly. You would
But
hope.
I'm starting to think this is one of those things that we want to know that we never will.
Right.
I don't think she'd be at Chandrilla because Chandrilla is really like there's people there, you know.
Mm.
Don't know if they're on the moon,
Well, yeah,
but it's a very
maybe.
populated system. That's true.
Yeah, I feel
know
like
there's
once you get
disgruntled
to
spice
like
miners on
like
the
once you
ruins
get
of
to
the boot.
here, I feel like everything's pretty populated.
I
Into
feel
this,
like it wasn't
inner
long
core.
into the journey. So
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
so
they were a lot closer
very
to
important.
Mandalore, I imagine.
Yeah.
Unless like when they were in hyperspace, like because you know how like Kate and Ezra kind of go all crazy in their little ship. I wonder if being a big ship, when they get pulled out like that when they're not supposed to, it goes like shoots off somewhere.
Oh, I see what
you
you
know,
mean.
so like they could be like
Hmm.
here at like Oprah Sky.
So
Oh,
they could
that's too
basically be
many.
anywhere.
Anywhere,
Yeah.
basically. That's too many to go through. Let's get back to the
Yeah.
We're already
episode.
trying to find Ezra.
Good work,
Yeah,
team.
I know.
Way to go.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Way to go,
Ezra.
team.
We didn't get there today, but good hustle, everybody. I like the energy. Yeah. Any excuse to talk about Wayland.
Oh, God.
So they get to the moon, and the ship is not doing well because
It's
Maul
not.
just pulled it apart from the inside pretty
Mhm.
much. So it's gonna crash.
He did that to a giant ship.
I love how many Star Destroyers are getting destroyed during Order 66.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Tons of
waste
them.
of money.
And what I also like about it is because the imagery of a ship that big falling really stuck out to me, not in the prequels but in the sequels. So like Lost Stars, for example, like every time I think of a ship falling onto a surface like that, I always think of those events. So when I saw this, I thought, oh man, it's bringing me back to Lost Stars and all these other things that have happened
Well,
since then.
And I thought it was
Exactly,
cool that
yeah.
like that Ahsoka and Rex flew out on a Y-wing, which becomes like one of the symbols for like the rebellion, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Which I
Yeah.
think is cool.
Yeah.
That's another thing that like I never like, but I really like the Clone Wars Y-wings and like Zori Bliss's Y-wing.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've grown up my whole life being like, Y-wings are kind of dumb. But then like the Clone Wars one, I was like, oh, these are like the dopest starfighters
Yep.
bombers
Same.
in the
Yeah.
world.
Exactly.
And then Zori had one that was like a little tiny bit sleeker with red stripes, and I think that's the coolest thing.
And it
Mhm.
had Babu Frick.
They said it also had a surprise Babu Frick. What if like she finally gets into the Y-wing after that tense thing, and she sits down and the cockpit closes, and it's like, hey!
oh, that's
And then
I
people are like, oh wow, they like connected it to episode 9. You see how the story group was all together.
I would love to see Babu Frick animated in the Clone Wars style. Now that you've said
Oh, that'd
that,
be
that
cool.
would be interesting. Little tiny Babu Frick.
He was really in there the whole time. Just
Yeah.
watching him.
That's Babu Frick's backstory.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
It's him and Meeber Gascon. They were the first two that started it.
But it's like, it's not like him, it's like his father, so it's like Roberto Frick.
So he's like, hey.
Yeah. No, hello.
Yeah. Anyway, so Ahsoka, back to where we were.
Yeah, try to podcast
Ahsoka-
after that.
Yeah. Ahsoka, they go to like the controls and to the control room, and they stun the clones there. And I'm just reading off Wikipedia. And like Rex says like that they sealed all the doors and everything, and he said like if they weren't trying to kill us, I'd be proud.
Mhm.
Which I don't know, that was hard to hear. But then Ahsoka sends her little droid friends to go figure out what's going on and all that.
And
And
all the clones are down there waiting for them.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, when that door opened and all you saw was the ranks of clone
Mhm.
troopers,
of the
I was just
Ahsoka
like, oh
There's
my god, how are they
tons.
supposed to get through this?
And then you see Jesse leading them, which makes it even
Oh,
more
yeah.
heartbreaking.
That hurt me for him to walk out and like, oh
I guess it only
Yeah.
hurts for those of us who care about Jesse, though.
yeah.
I was just like, oh, his armor's cool.
I know his comma's pretty cool.
I did, like-
yeah.
Yeah,
I just thought it was funny.
Ark's got it easy. They just look cool.
Yeah.
Right.
I had some buddies that were like, like they're twins and they do arcs.
Nice.
And so they were like, like, oh, what are you doing tomorrow? What are you doing Sunday at the con? Oh, we're going to be arcs. Like all day? Aldea San Diego? Yeah. Like arcs, like with the extra pauldrons and stuff, it's like heavy on your shoulders, no? Yeah, we've done it before.
I think one of the scenes that really got me was when Ahsoka takes off Rex's helmet and you can see him crying. And someone tweeted this earlier, and I cannot remember their name, but they said, can you imagine all the other times Rex has been crying under his helmet and we don't see it? And I thought, oh my God,
that's me.
How many times is he?
Well, now I think Rex has now cried more than any other character in the show. Because I think, as far as seeing tears, because Boyle or Waxer died.
It was Boyle, actually.
Boyle.
Yeah.
So Boyle cried once, and Ahsoka cried once, but Rex cried twice.
It was Waxer. Yeah.
Was it Waxer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Waxer cried once, and then Ahsoka cried once, and Rex has cried twice.
Yeah.
So Rex wins.
I'm pretty sure he cried too when Fives dies because he gets emotional.
Oh gosh, yeah. It's just that we didn't see it. Yeah. Oh, Rex, man, it hurts. It hurts.
Yeah. He's been through it.
Really, truly.
To me, the saddest part was Cheap and the rest of the.
Oh my God!
Oh, we're not there yet, though.
But
it's okay. They're not dead yet until we talk about it. So
let's just never talk about it.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm gonna edit the Wikipedia page while she's reading it, just to include Kanan at the end.
No,
don't do that.
He's fine. He's okay. Yeah. So Rex cries, and Ahsoka. It was just, and Rex is like looking away from her too, which made it even worse because it was like he was like embarrassed, and I think that was such a good moment for Ahsoka because like Rex was like kind of yelling at her, like he was angry or showing anger towards her, but Ahsoka, because she knows him so well, she was able to like understand that like he wasn't really angry at her, he was just like frustrated and really sad by what was happening.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she's just a good friend. That's what friends do.
Yeah.
And then and then they have their plan, and Rex has holding Ahsoka prisoner, air quotes, and he's like, "Oh, she's not technically a real Jedi."
I love how that was like if they were in court, like they're like, "Nah, you see, Your Honor, she's not a real Jedi." But he like paces around. He's like, "Well, like it was just funny."
Yeah, I like that. That was good.
Well, because Ahsoka's like, "Oh, I have a plan. It's a good one." And I was like, "Wow, like I can't think of anything to do. Like, how are they going to get out of this?" And they do that, and like that's your plan. Okay.
I thought like I've seen it play out because we've seen that in a couple of comics and stuff so far. Like in other canon stories, they've been like, "Well, we're not technically like," and they in particular, there's one Vader comic where the Jedi, like Vader's Purge troopers, are clones. And they're like the Inquisitors and the Purge troopers catch up to the Jedi, and the Jedi takes off all their helmets, sees their clones, and then says like, "Execute Order 66."
Oh yeah, that's what.
Everybody with a lightsaber, like Inquisitors included.
Yeah.
So
wow. I still wonder why Vader didn't, when like he was still Anakin with a blue lightsaber, didn't get attacked. Like, did Palpatine pre-program Anakin into that all those years ago?
Probably.
Because what if Anakin didn't work out?
He also didn't like all of this stuff with, well, except for the one that I just told you, was all like in the moment. Execute Order 66 now, like it just kind of takes over. So like when the Emperor's like, "I have my person going to assign to you, you guys are going to go into the temple," like maybe coming in as an order from the Emperor.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, is a little bit different from, because he's sending like Commander Styles. Okay, hold on, I gotta make another call. Commander Cody.
Yeah.
Okay, I got, my list is long.
Right.
So I wonder if like the guys, the half of the five of us, Commander Rex. Oh, he's not here right now? Who are you? Commander.
Wasn't Appa with Anakin?
Yeah, Appa.
Yeah. Damn.
I know.
Well, I love when Jesse for a second is thinking about it and then right away puts the blasters right back up, and it's so heartbreaking to see because like he's just gone. The person he was is just completely gone. And And then he says Darth Sidious, and it's like, dang.
And he calls Rex CT-7567.
Yeah.
Which, especially for Jesse being part of like the Umbara fiasco and everything there, just hear and hearing any clone refer to each other as their numbers. Besides, like, I guess, like in the Rookies episode where they don't really have names yet. Like,
What
hearing
is
any
numbers 99?
but like hearing
Damn.
like the seasoned clones that like have names and have names for each other, like just say it by their number, that was hard.
It was also tough because at the beginning of this arc, you know, when he's captured by Maul, one of the things that he regrets doing is giving up information about Ahsoka, and he was so sorry about that.
But it was look at her.
And he didn't even give the information up. Maul like pulled it out of his head. And he was still
exactly.
embarrassed.
Exactly.
Sorry about it. Like,
and now here he is with pointing guns at her, and that's just, you know, that's not him. It's just some programming.
Yeah, it's like the most heartbreaking thing, and especially because, you know, we have personal connections onto those clones, right? We know them. We've followed them for all these years, and so it's different than like in Revenge of the Sith when some of those. Oh no, I take that back. I forgot we follow Bly and like Green and all of them. But it's even sadder when it's like Jesse and Rex, because those clones. I mean, we've gotten probably like 20 episodes with Jesse in the past, and you know, now I go back to the episode where he helps Rex when he gets shot and the deserter, and now here he is just mindless and very Stormtrooper like.
Yeah
Very sad.
But the droids.
The droids. So well, Maul comes to the hangar too.
That's right.
Going towards the shuttle, and Ahsoka goes to get him, and he just force pushes her.
I love what he said. He said, "You wanted me to cause chaos."
Yeah.
It's like,
dang it. Chaos. Yeah. I love where she goes for his neck, and then he checks it. Like the next shot, he's like, "Whoa!" He's checking it, and then he runs.
Super close.
Yeah.
She was super close.
Yeah, but then the droids and Rex pull Ahsoka back up because she falls, but they catch her with their little cord thingies. And she's like swinging and like deflecting the blasters because they're still shooting at her, and remind me of like Ezra in that one episode of Rebels when like he and Zeb are like swinging from the cord. And
that's one of my favorite sound cues, like music cues. Yeah, when he busts out the lightsaber and they're swinging above whatever planet that they're rescuing.
It was Winkathu, the Winkathu job.
Yeah, the Winkathu job. That's what it was. But like the music is so dope. I love that track. I try to work it in the Saber Guild shows whenever I can.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, so Maul gets in the shuttle, and Ahsoka like uses the Force to hold it back, and it was so cool. And she was like slipping towards it, you know, because it's a whole shuttle, and Rex was like trying to hold her back, and she realizes that like she can't defend herself and Rex from all the clones that are still shooting at them, and also at the same time let Maul like get the shuttle back, so she has to like let Maul go.
Yeah, that was a great moment, I think, and it was a good time when it was a good moment because it reminded me of the lesson she ends up teaching Ezra later on, or the lesson that she ends up emphasizing, which is to let go.
Right.
That also lines up pretty good with the book, because the book basically, like, it's always very vague when they talk about it, but it says something in the book like, in the end, you know, Maul had escaped. She had to let him go to save Rex.
Right.
You know, so really it had been no choice at all or something like that. And it's like, that's when Rex was trying to get into the Y-Wing, and like, she was trying to stop everybody from killing them and let him get away.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, when that happened, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
I also want to say this is a little bit backwards, but I liked that trick they did with the clones where they were just kind of dropping the floor below them, like the Tower of Terror, just like falling.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Back up.
Yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy with no seatbelt.
I haven't ridden as Guardians of the Galaxy yet. So.
Right, but the clones see that, and then they see the droids, and then they like try to murder the droids.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Cheap.
They destroyed the right operators.
They did shoot R7.
That was sad too.
Earlier.
Someone told me like, Cheap is Chopper, or Chopper is Cheap rebuilt. And I was like, excuse me, no, like, the design is just similar.
I do like the design. I think it was Rebels Transmission on Twitter who pointed out that the design looked a lot like Chopper's original design.
Yeah.
Which was
Yeah,
much
very
closer to the
close.
Ralph McQuarrie design
Yeah.
too. So
It's
that was
so
pretty neat.
cool how because Rebels used a lot of McQuarrie art, and now Clone Wars is using Rebels art.
Yeah.
Maybe something in the future, and Rebels use Clone Wars art too.
Yeah.
Everything's just kind of going around.
Yeah.
And it's so cool.
I actually, for a little bit, thought that maybe that was going to be Chopper until I totally forgot that he gets, I guess, on Ryloth is when he crashes.
Yeah.
In a Y-wing crash.
In a Y-wing, yeah.
My headcanon is always that in that first episode of season 1 arc of Ryloth, that's where Chopper
That's where
is
it
there
happens.
somewhere.
That's where it happens.
You know,
yeah.
because that's when they have the first episode is all the airstrike to break through the blockade.
Right.
And the second episode is all now we got to rescue the townspeople, and the third episode is take back the city.
We need that Chopper backstory miniseries.
Yes, very much so.
Looking at you, Forces of Destiny.
I also love how in Rise of Skywalker, one of the things that Leia says is never underestimate a droid. Mm-hmm. And it just applies to every single moment in Star Wars, especially in this episode. So yeah, never underestimate the droids.
Yeah, well, because Ahsoka couldn't have done anything without
them.
Droid. I mean, I'm sure she would have figured out some kind of plan, but obviously everything went horribly because that's Revenge of the Sith. But it could have gone worse.
I did the one clone hacker who had the little data spike that was almost there.
It was so Ezra.
Yeah.
That was so Ezra.
Almost there. Nope.
I loved it.
Yeah.
R7, I gotta say that R7's been with us for so long, and now R7's gone. I'm very sad. That got me.
Yeah, although I don't want to jump too far ahead.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm hoping something gets done with that. I don't know.
Yeah, but also I just thought of this, but Cheap obviously thought Chopper, he's similar in shape and he makes the same Dave Filoni sounds. So I wonder, because I just thought Ahsoka pets Chopper and is kind of friendly with him, and Chopper's usually mean, but I wonder if Ahsoka is reminded of Cheap when she meets Chopper.
Oh,
right.
Maybe.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah.
Oh,
Could be.
Especially when she kneels down and pets him for a second when we first see her.
Yeah. She was I respect C1s.
I love Gigi. I love that name.
Oh, Gigi.
Gigi was legit. Yeah.
We should get another dog and name them Gigi.
Stop. I'm already on the get rid of Echo train.
No.
Oh no.
Only if he finds his own Bad Batch.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can just get 4 dogs and name them Tech and
Echo, you feel like you don't belong. Go.
I mean, if I ever get a droid, I want to call it G5U5 or something like that, because 5 looks a lot like S, and I just want to say Jesus and Jesus, take the wheel.
I want a purple droid named Z3B0 because then it's Zeb Aurelius.
Oh, nice.
That's what I want.
I just want to say Jesus, take the wheel.
Sal, I think you guys need another dog. I said this earlier, but you need a 5. If you have Echo, you need a 5.
You need a 5.
Stop. Delete your account.
Dad.
I mean, Bingo and Echo.
I'm going to mess him up and say, we had another dog. His name was Fives.
No!
Oh.
My God.
I hurt everybody in the room.
Banned from this podcast.
Oh, no.
I've been blocked. No, it's not true, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Dog.
Yeah.
But
where were we?
Oh, you know what? What other cool moment I loved of Ahsoka's was when she used her lightsabers to mark that.
The whole,
that was so cool.
Yeah, it reminded me of. And I can't remember if this is a deleted scene or not, but Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan does something similar. Of course, it's not as cool because he only has one lightsaber. But he does he cuts a hole in the circle.
It's very video game style. They do that a lot, but she floated them out to the circle.
Yeah, that was so.
Even when Anakin did it in season 1 of Senate hostage crisis or whatever.
Yeah.
He like ran in a circle.
Yeah.
Right.
Same.
It reminded me of in Disney Infinity, her like special move is to take her 2 lightsabers and throw them out. If you do enough charges, because she has like 3 special moves. But
Yeah,
if you hold
okay.
enough charges, she throws them and they spin in a circle around her for a little while. And then they
Oh,
come back and she
cool.
grabs them.
That's neat.
Mhm.
I remember that now. Oh man, the nostalgia
That's
vibes.
that's such a good game.
Gotta get back into that game.
It's
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Me and Axel were gonna stream some stuff and unlock everything on the PS4.
Nice.
And
I
then my
almost
plan-
unlocked everything, and then our Xbox broke. And we had to get a new one, and nothing was saved. And I was so sad.
Oh.
Yeah, see, that's what happens when you have Xboxes.
Oh well, at least that Fallen Order works for me.
Oh, okay, well that's good.
Fallen Order just didn't work on my account.
I got new they just had a free update for Fallen Order, so now you
I
can
saw
have
that.
like
I need to get
new
that.
clothes. It's nice.
And the scene where I guess the part where Ahsoka's flying through the air.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh.
I know that they're alive in Rebels, but I was sitting on the edge of my seat
Same,
watching
yeah.
It was not.
Yeah.
It
I
was
was just
amazing.
like, no, and I was like actually moving with Ahsoka, helping her, trying to get to the. I was like,
Jesus,
I
take the
know.
wheel.
Yeah,
Oh, but
and it was just so good.
before that, though, when they see the Y-wing and Ahsoka throws Rex, and Rex gets thrown all the time, but he finally asked her to throw him. But that was such a
Right.
shallow throw. I was like, there's no arc to that.
You couldn't up a little bit.
Right. Or
She was
Rex.
also getting really, really tired. You could see that.
Yeah.
Like she was
Oh, yeah,
getting
she was
tired of
exhausted.
fighting.
I said
Yeah.
throw me to the Y-wing, not at it.
I
Um,
think if Rebels hadn't come out yet, I kind of think that Rex probably would have gone down saving Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I agree with you there.
It's tough to think about, but I have a feeling that's what they
think-
would have done.
With that line of thought, I think if Rebels didn't already exist and this finale, assuming this finale aired as it did, that ending would have been so much worse. Just
Oh
'cause-
yeah,
Yeah.
it would be way
we
more
would have been like,
intense.
what does that bird mean?
Right.
Like, not knowing.
Bird.
What is
Bird.
this random bird?
But when it showed up in season 2, everybody would have lost it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been playing too much Skyward Sword lately, so in the whole scene where she's like floating next to the Y-wing, I was like,
Oh.
lean left, like lean right. I'm so gonna like do this. Because like there's a lot of the game where you like jump and dive and have to
Yeah,
like
yeah.
steer your
Yeah.
fall,
Yeah.
which I had fun with.
That scene
Also, I
reminded
refused to use
me.
my parachute.
I know I keep talking about Star Wars games, but that game reminded me. Or that scene reminded me of in like Lego Star Wars. There's a scene. It's from the I can't remember the name of that episode, but with Slick, where he betrays his brothers.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I forget the name of it, but
Hidden Enemy.
in
Hidden
Hidden
yeah.
Enemy, thank you. There's one of the levels where you fight Ventress and you get thrown out like the window, I think, is Anakin
Yeah.
and Obi-Wan, and you're like falling with all the droid parts around you to try to like
Oh,
land
yeah.
properly.
Yeah.
And that was always really stressful part of the game for me as a kid. So that was like, it was like extra stressful that I was thinking about it during this already stressful scene of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
No,
feel
for
bad because
sure.
I didn't feel at all stressed during that. I was like, yeah, she's fine. She'll
Oh,
be fine.
no,
Like,
not me.
yeah.
Yeah, I was like looking too for all the clones. Like, all right, is he okay? Is he okay? Like, and then you see one shot of him flying by. I'm like, okay, so is he gonna live? Is he gonna go off with Rex and they're gonna get his chip out? Like, maybe it's gonna be okay. No,
Maybe they're gonna
yeah.
crash and all the
It
clones are
wasn't
gonna get up and
okay,
be like,
Corey.
it was not
No.
okay.
But they crash. Ahsoka gets into the Y-wing, which I think the Y-wings are one of the first ships she flew, like with Anakin. Which was
Yeah,
rough.
and,
Yeah.
yeah, beginning of season 1. Yeah,
that's true.
And besides the Twilight.
Hello, Mom. Join the podcast. I don't have enough mics, though. Hi, Mom. Here.
Hi,
Now I
Liz.
can't hear you guys.
Hi.
This is where my family hides. I was like, where's everybody? Why is everything so quiet?
They're talking about Star Wars.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Story of our lives.
Yeah, we're down to the last few minutes of the finale.
I know.
saddest moments
Victory.
of anything.
What did you think, Mom?
It was
That's
it
such
was
a mood.
painful. Yeah, it was painful.
Yeah, very.
Beautiful, but painful. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the perfect way to sum it up.
Yeah.
It's like it's what an end shot, but then like seeing all the clones on the pikes is like that might be the saddest thing I've ever seen. That's just
And
Yeah.
it's so different from like something from The
subjects.
Mandalorian where you see
Yeah.
the stormtrooper helmets on the pikes, and like it doesn't really connect with you the same way because of the fact that we know the clone.
Yeah.
And we knew
Right.
those clones
See the
specifically.
stormtroopers and you're like, aha, suckers. You know?
Yeah,
And you see
exactly.
Jesse and you're like,
No.
Exactly, yes. That shot where they pan to Jesse and the way the music is like swelling up as that happens, and it stops at his helmet, and the way I looked at it was like it represents the end of the Republic. He's got the Republic symbol on his
Yes.
helmet, and it's like this is it for the Republic.
Yeah.
And there's like blood stains on it and dirt, and that got me hardcore. And like
Yeah.
I've said this before, but I don't cry like in every like I've cried before in movies and stuff, but this was just like too much. I mean, seeing that like the end of these clones that we followed for all these years, and then Ahsoka having to throw the lightsaber down the last part of Anakin. Like what a beautifully done scene.
I just hope that there wasn't like with the clones, I hope they all died in the crash and Anakin and Rex or Ahsoka and Rex didn't have to like mercy kill any of them that were still like badly injured or anything.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think the ending, the way it was done was so perfect because like we could have seen Ahsoka and Rex like separating and talking about what they were going to do, but I think it being so wordless and like quiet was perfect because it was just numb, and it was sort of like you're watching all these great action scenes and are amazing, and then like you like the war is over and you were just like, what was like why did they have to do that, like they because Ahsoka and Rex, like they won, they survived, they got out of the crash, but like at what cost,
Right.
Yeah. And it takes me back to that season 2 finale of Rebels. It was all no words were shared, and it, like that scene impacts even more because of the fact that Rex sees that Ahsoka's not there, and he wasn't there to protect her. He wasn't there to watch her back, and it gets me even more than it already does. And then I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Oh man, but yeah, it hurts even more knowing that he doesn't see her come back, and it's because he probably thinks that I wasn't there to help her, I wasn't there to watch her back.
Yeah.
God, that just adds so much more to that scene.
Do you think he finds that like obviously the little epilogue piece, he finds the saber and the helmet? I think he finds that before Rebels or after?
Oh, that's a good question.
I don't know.
I want to say before.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that, finding the sabers, it kind of gives, I guess Vader assumes that she's dead.
Yeah.
This is this just means that the apprentice is gone. He doesn't have to worry about it. But then we get to season 2, Siege of Lothal, and he finds that the apprentice lives. Like he's surprised by that.
Right.
But I do have a friend, Doug, who does Radio Dakar. He has a great theory. I don't know whether I should say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. Sorry, Doug. But he said that he thinks it's after the Siege of Lothal because now he knows that the apprentice lives and he might be trying to find her tracks, and maybe that leads to that scene in the Clone Wars. And I thought, oh man, it could go either way. I just can't tell.
It could even it could even be after Twilight of the Apprentice, because he kind of, with Ahsoka disappearing, he maybe assumes that like she's dead, and like he's just trying to, I don't know, just trying to retrace his steps. And I want to know what he did with the lightsaber. Like, did he drop it back on the ground? Did he keep it? Did he destroy it? Like, what happened?
Yeah, I saw somebody speculate that it might even take place after Empire Strikes Back, where Anakin starts to slowly creep out again after Luke, and like him finding that lightsaber is Anakin just like for a second coming back to the forefront.
That's a great theory.
That's
I could definitely see that, because I think Vader he's very Vader obviously in that scene, but he's like, you can see Anakin coming through Vader in a way that I don't think you ever see, besides like maybe like Return of the Jedi obviously, but also like maybe Revenge of the Sith.
Right. And maybe this is me looking into it too much, but like I feel if that was Vader like true, like 100% Vader, he would have just like force grabbed the lightsaber. But in this instance, he actually kneels down and picks it up.
Yeah,
and
there's something there.
And
there's
he
something
brushes it
different.
off with
He
his
brushes
hand.
it off.
Mhm,
Yeah, it's
mhm.
not the same brooding Vader. You can kind of like even the way he walks, it's very Clone Wars Anakin-y.
Mm.
Anakin.
And also, I don't know if it makes a difference, but he seemed to have the red lenses, which is like A&H
yeah,
style
Yeah.
before.
yeah. I loved that you could see Anakin's eyes too through the
Yeah, a
lenses.
little bit.
A little
Yeah.
bit
Yeah.
of Anakin's
Yeah.
eyes. Yeah.
Little
I
brush of
think
that eyebrow.
I'm so glad we got to see.
I
Vader
know.
in the Clone Wars style. I was talking about that.
It's
Um,
funny because I was, crying and sobbing, and at the same time, I was thinking Zoe's gonna be so happy. Because that's what you wanted. You wanted to see Vader in
I
the Clone
did.
Wars style.
So good. And the stormtroopers and the snowtroopers, I didn't know I need to see them in the Clone Wars style, but I'm so glad I did because they look great.
Yes, they do.
Especially the stormtroopers. They were
And
amazing.
you know
Yeah.
why I still think that's a little bit closer to the Clone Wars, that setting? Because the men in those stormtrooper outfits, those Imperial outfits, they felt clone-like to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was something about it that they felt like they were clones or like the
Yeah.
remnants of clones. That's why I thought it was a
Maybe.
bit closer. But who knows? Maybe that's just me
Mm.
trying to like.
Yeah, I was
I mean,
expecting
it is-
to hear D. Baker.
It is
Yeah.
possible that like they just for sake of budget reuse clone walk cycles.
Yeah, it's true. True.
Right.
Very true.
Yeah.
And of course, Morai.
Morai,
In the
yeah.
sky above.
Vader must be like at this point be like, this bird. It's like it's
Bird!
everywhere. It's like every time Ahsoka disappears, there's this bird. What is going
I
on?
just-
It's so funny. It's like a calling card in a way. Like Ahsoka was here or Ahsoka's
Right.
Well,
nearby.
I feel like Morai is more like Ahsoka and Anakin's connection because obviously it's the colors of the daughter, and Anakin is the reason Ahsoka has the daughter, and Morai
Anakin
doesn't
was the
just show
conduit.
up. Yeah,
No,
and
no.
Morai just
Yeah.
doesn't just show up for Ahsoka. There's a lot of scenes for Ahsoka where Morai's not there, but he
Mhm.
shows up at significant points for Ahsoka and Anakin when he finds the lightsaber, when she's about to leave, when Vader's walking away from her, and when Ahsoka just faced him. You know?
Yeah.
What
And when
about,
she warns Ezra to help her and get her out through the portal.
mhm.
Yeah.
I
Isn't
need
there
to know
one
how
when
he travels.
Ahsoka and Ezra leave for Malachor?
Yeah.
Oh,
when
she's like
he's about-
circling above.
when
like,
he's about to
yeah.
go.
Yeah.
When she's about to go
Yeah.
face
Mhm.
him.
The yeah, I wonder if he's ever like, Vader ever goes back and he's like, okay, this is like crazy, but hear me out. This bird, every now and then.
Do you think he tries to catch it? Like he's just standing like, caw, caw.
Sorry, I don't remember the name of the moon, but it was also on this other planet.
Yeah, I would love something like that, just where Vader's just finally like, okay, so here's the deal. This keeps happening. What, like, I love how the daughter is just constantly looking, like, because that's what we're assuming, I guess, Morai is. She's just constantly looking at him like, the choices you're making.
Judging.
Don't do it.
Like, let's stop.
I love it.
Okay, Lizzie got kicked off her own podcast.
Sorry.
Oh no, Lizzie!
You guys probably talked about a mall already, but
Mhm.
gosh, I feel so bad for him. I'm really liking him now. It's like
Yeah.
it's like everybody's like, no, you can't sit with us. Every single person. I feel so bad for him.
I don't remember who it was, but I saw like a funny tweet that was somebody made that was something like, Maul like, who will help me defeat Sidious? Like, and then
Nobody
like
wants to help
silence.
Oh yeah.
Won't anybody help me defeat Sidious? Ezra slowly raises his hand. Kanan puts
Kanan
Ezra's
puts
hand
it
down.
To be fair to Maul, that's what happens when you kill a lot of people and betray people all the time.
Yeah, I mean, what do you
You know?
expect, dude? I mean, if you were
Yeah.
genuine and weren't seeking power at the same time, we'd kind of help you, but otherwise,
Can't
sorry.
it be both?
That's true. Although, pretty much like Count Dooku, he was trying to warn people. He was trying to tell people, but people just don't listen. Ahsoka didn't want to listen.
I
She
mean,
didn't
would
want to
you?
hear it. I'll be like, oh, like he does have his times where he, gets really mad. I don't know. And she has her own feelings too. So at one point she has to realize that this is true. But she definitely seems shocked to learn that that he is Darth Vader.
I think a lot of the stuff too is like she just doesn't want to believe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like Padme.
She's in denial.
Padme doesn't tell Obi-Wan that's not true. I saw a thing of him killing Youngblood. She goes, "I can't believe that."
Yeah. Right.
Not she doesn't believe it. Like she can't. Like you know what I mean? Like she wants it not to be true.
Right.
You know
It's
what I
funny.
mean?
Like most
No,
of the
I have
villains are
before.
the ones who reveal everything.
Yeah.
Like Count Dooku with
Yeah.
Obi-Wan and Maul with Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Sith usually fight with the truth, which is crazy.
Right. Yeah.
So true.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just saying, Lizzy, if you do something like that, I'll be like, yeah, no, that's messed up. No, you should go to jail, girl. I don't know. I wouldn't be like, no, I can't believe that. That's
You go to jail.
The Lizzy is flawed.
No, Lizzy needs to go in like the box that they had for Maul. She needs to go in the Maul box.
The bad box.
Yeah.
It's just like, I mean, obviously she knew, like Padme knew, right, that he had done something like this in the past. So why would she why would she refuse to believe what was going on? She knew this going in. Ahsoka was a little bit different. She didn't really know, but she had her feelings too. And it's just, I just feel like, nobody wants to believe Kanduku. And even Vera saw it. She saw this coming from the Jedi, I mean, and yeah, instead of trying to fix it, it's almost like they just blind themselves to see what they want to see,
Right.
So that's a little bit.
Yeah, it's
bad.
funny that you mentioned Barris. Like they want to try to get the message out, but the way that they go about doing it,
Yeah. So
it's not helping your cause.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
And on a side note, like, oh, I thought these crazy Jedi holding boxes were outlawed. Yeah, we only have one. I mean, we just got this one.
That's true.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we just have the one. Don't look anymore. Don't look in the warehouse.
I'm
We just have
No,
curious.
they're totally
like,
against the law.
I'm curious
Yeah.
how what makes it what's in it that uses it to, like, I guess, dampen the force. I'm curious, like what is it made out of?
Like in general, the way that a lot of that kind of stuff is described in books is usually like it's either some kind of pain or something that they can't focus. You know what I mean? So like it's not like it stops the force, but it can like stop a Jedi from using like
dampener.
Probably no different than that thing Obi-Wan is in episode 2.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Like,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
a little thing that holds his arms and legs, but it probably causes enough pain or something like that. Some
Right.
Like
sort of
Hondo,
thing
like Hondo has a couple of those.
yeah. Oh, that's right.
One
Yeah.
Anakin in him.
Hondo even ends up with one.
Darmo was able to use the Force still to be able to project to Ahsoka. So technically speaking, he could have just the Force to manipulate.
No, he didn't project to Ahsoka.
He
I think they
did.
both felt it.
I wonder if like
so?
Yeah. She
Like,
felt it
'cause-
because she was close to Skywalker, and I bet he felt it because he was close to Sidious. But
Well,
I
it's that
think that's more
moment.
of like the Force came, like the Force can still reach him, but he can't push. He can't use the. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, I wonder also with
Yeah.
the box is like because like
Receive
when
only.
Kanan is teaching Ezra to like open that door, he says to imagine like the mechanisms of the door. So I wonder if it's something so complicated they can't get the mechanisms.
Oh,
their
that's a
head.
good
Mm.
point.
You
might be
know, because that would be something like they can engineer. easier.
Yes, that's right. Oh wow, Zoe, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that theory.
But I think he does kind of connect to her though, like in the beginning scene of one of the beginning scenes of Shattered when Ahsoka's talking to Rex, he looks right at her and then she looks right at him right before like the Sidious stuff. So I think there's
I think he can connect with her.
yeah, there's some connection there.
He wasn't too crazy about. I mean, he knew this whole thing was going to crumble down pretty soon,
Yeah.
so he didn't really need it. Essentially to escape, right? I mean, the plan was to kill Sidious, not so much to escape. Because technically speaking, if he was connecting with Ahsoka, he could connect with any trooper and have and be released. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know, but I'm sorry, Ahsoka. Darth Maul was totally right. I mean, I hated that he took the ship and everything, but that's true. Like I would have been like, okay, no, makes sense. Like I couldn't be upset with him because I was like, no, you.
What about
like,
when he murdered all those clones?
Yeah. We're not going to kill any clones. I did let Darth Maul out, though.
Doesn't Rex say something about that too? He's like, what does he say? Is it in the Wikipedia?
I don't think so.
But he says something, right? He says
I don't
like
Darth Maul.
He wasn't happy that Maul was let out.
Yeah, Ahsoka says something about that. Oh, she was like, oh, as a distraction. He's like, yeah, that's something you can call it, or something.
Yeah,
like that.
As a distraction, all right. Or,
Yeah.
You know what's really funny to me now is like when Maul says to Ahsoka and Rebels, running away again, Lady Tana. I'm like, look, listen, let's not forget who ran away.
He ran away. He ran away twice.
I know
he ran away.
Yeah.
He ran away on Mandalore, and he
too.
ran away in the ship.
Yeah.
I love how he also calls her a part-timer.
Oh my God! Yes.
In the book, the lines are something like, they couldn't send a real Jedi. They just sent you a part-timer. Oh no, that's in Rebels.
That's in Rebels.
Yeah.
He says part-timer.
Yeah,
But in the book, he says something like, "Oh, a lowly Padawan" or something like that, and she's like,
he throws a lot
"That's
of
fair.
shit.
You're only half a Sith."
Yeah.
Wow, they're like both of them are
I kind of wish they kept that in there.
At least they still do
It
have like
between
the recording of Ashley Eckstein saying that line from the audio.
Yeah. Oh man, so that's it.
Yeah, that last shot. I think I said the last shot of Clone Wars is going to stick with me to get forever, and it definitely will because it was beautiful and
it is
poetic and
yeah.
Oh, so in the novel, Rex's armor gets buried, huh?
Not on the podcast.
Yeah. So so here's the continuity section. So Rex buries a clone in his armor, and Ahsoka leaves her lightsabers, and they use fake graves, and it says they killed each other in their fake graves.
Whoa.
Yeah. So the continuity section here says that Rex left with his armor, but we didn't technically see them leave. Like Rex was packing stuff up, but he could have after, because we know that we didn't see them separate, but we know where they're going to do that at some point. I don't know how long. Maybe they stuck together afterwards. They could have just hung out for a little while,
Yeah, they're probably around for a while.
I would hope.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that really hurt me when we got to Rebels, to find out that Ahsoka and Rex weren't together this entire time. And I get that, because Rex had fought a war and he needs to live his own life. He shouldn't be brought into something unless it's by his own choice.
Right.
And I was really shocked to find out that they weren't together. And it hurt me even more to find out that they were disconnected completely because of Wolf. And I'm like, come on. Are you serious? Almost 17 years or whatever. It hurt me.
Wolf and Fox just ruin everything.
They ruin everything. I'm just kidding.
I remember when Wolf just starts shooting a Kanan. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Just let them talk.
But yeah, what he says, the Jedi have come to get their revenge.
Right. He's paranoid.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just completely
I need those stories, man.
Yes.
I really want more of that.
Well,
I would love a clone, little mini animated series of just how Rex gets connected with Wolf and Gregor.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
And I want a book, and it's a whole, sort of from a certain point of view, but every story is a different clone. What happens to them in Order 6. So we see you said, Rex, Wolf, and Gregor come together, and we see whatever happened to Cody. Something happened.
Yeah.
Or what happened to Kix? I mean,
Kix?
we know that he got.
Know.
Yeah, we know, but still, how that led to that moment. I want an expanded version of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, how he ended up with Dooku.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I want the Daniel Jose Older story of Gregor from that book.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to know how Cut LaQuane's doing, hearing about all the clones.
Yes.
Oh gosh.
Because I think Cut LaQuane is he has such an interesting relationship with the other clones, though, because he clearly still has some kind of kinship with them. Because he does he's friendly with Rex, and he feels like a connection, but he also wants to separate himself from them as much as possible. And seeing how he's dealing with hearing about the Clone Wars, because obviously he might not ever outright know about what exactly happened, because the Empire lied, but knowing what he figured out from what he did know and everything.
Yeah, I think it would be so cool, just even do a little animated series of the clones' perspectives. I think that would be really popular on Disney Plus. I'd love to see Cody's reaction to realizing everything that happened, but actually see it on screen. It'd be so cool.
And to maybe even buckle down with it afterward and still be a trainer for like
Right.
Imperial recruits and
Yeah.
whatnot.
I just need to know if him and Rex ever get their meeting. Because that's,
What if,
that's
like,
something I wanted from Rebels and we didn't get it. And
Yeah,
like
same.
it would have taken away from Rebels. They didn't really have an opportunity to do that, but like I wanted it.
I wanted it still.
Yeah, me too. I think they had said that they were thinking about making him like a villain in season 2.
I couldn't have done
yeah.
that. I couldn't have
Yeah.
handled that actually.
Oh no.
Never mind.
I did like that we get the name mentioned though in Stealth Strike.
Yeah.
That was
Yes, yeah.
at least that we got.
But like,
and then I think it was the last battle, right, where Rex has the PTSD moment.
and he calls for Cody.
Calls for Cody.
And
yeah.
like, but like I want to know like if they meet at any point during like while the Empire's still alive, and if Cody survives through like Endor, if they get to like really reunite on the same side after that.
Oh, that would be so cool. Because
I'm getting goosebumps over
it.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I'm gonna give Lizzie back her podcast.
Sorry. Bye, guys.
Good stuff.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Well, this has been one long podcast, but it was so much fun.
Jonah, I'm sorry. You
oh no,
a little
that's
bit
fine.
past your time.
No, it turns out that my mom's still working, so she's not done yet. So,
okay.
Because we're gonna record our own episode after.
Nice.
Hey guys.
Hi, Lizzie.
Missed a lot.
I know. I was like, what are they laughing about? Fine. I don't care.
Oh, you couldn't even hear. Oh no.
No, I couldn't hear. No, they had both my earbuds.
Oh.
Yeah, I just backtracking a little bit from Vader, the shots of like Ahsoka in her little cowl, in her gray cowl versus like at the end of Rebels when she has her white one.
Oh yeah. That was so great. The Gandalf the Grey sort of.
Yeah. Well, Ahsoka's outfit color progression is so interesting to me because she starts with like reds, and then she goes to blues, and then in Rebels she's like gray with like a little bit of the red coming back. But then when we see her in the epilogue, it's just all white.
All white. Yeah.
There's so much.
Filoni, he knows how to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, Filoni.
We never got to see her monkey boot animated though.
I know. Yeah. Oh well.
I like the monkey boot.
Man, and I was thinking about that, and I'm actually going to bring it up later with my mom because we still haven't talked about the Trace and Rafa arc, but the fact that she had that speeder bike and that jumpsuit, like, and the fact that she didn't have a cool headdress, the thing that she had gotten when she was young, I forget what it was, what the story was, but I wonder if she sold that in exchange for credits to be able to buy the speeder and the clothes.
Well, I know both her headdress and her the little, I don't know what it's called, but the little thing she has in her belt, the little like flap, has the design on it, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I know. I don't know if this is new canon, but I know in old canon those were like traditional like Togruta.
Yes.
Things.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because I understand her getting rid of clothes that she associated with the Jedi, but she got rid of their culture Togruta things too.
Yeah.
I think it's an interesting mark that she wants to be, I think, totally independent, because I wonder if Jedi, not that she lost trust in other people, but I think what happened with the Jedi shook her faith in general.
Oh yeah. Oh, she's definitely jaded now.
Of
for
like
sure.
Ashley Eckstein was reading like this little kid's book live on Instagram or something.
The Padawan book.
And, and she was like, Ahsoka is choosing her own path now. Like, so I don't know, that's.
Yeah. But that's it.
The Clone Wars is over.
I know, and I didn't get to talk about it.
Oh no, Lizzie, did you have any thoughts about that final scene?
I was very happy because I know Zoe wanted to see Vader animated. So I was like, Zoe's getting her wish. I did wish, Zoe said this again, I think, was that, like, I wish we saw the other Padawans, like, escaping.
Yes.
That would be, I just wanted more.
My version of that was like, maybe Clone Wars to, like, offset Revenge of the Sith will have, like, a hopeful Order 66 that shows the Jedi surviving, but they They did not go for the hopeful ending.
I want to know what happens to
At all.
Gunji. I love Gunji so much.
Someone tweeted
She's
an
here,
image
safe.
of the kids, and I thought, oh no, I completely forgot about
To be
them.
honest, I'm okay if not knowing, if they never say explicitly what happened to those kids.
Right.
Because then I can pretend it's fine, because I know what the official answer is going to be, and I don't like it. So they just don't say anything. It's fine.
Exactly.
In my head, they're still okay somewhere in the galaxy.
They're off. They joined a real circus now.
Yes, they did.
Yes, there
they
you
were
go.
the real circus performers.
That's
I
what
love
happened.
it. Went around with Hondo for a couple of years.
Yeah, I refuse to accept anything else.
Hondo is adopting now.
Oh man.
Maybe they're on Batu as like old people. I almost said old children. That
Old
doesn't make sense.
people.
They're old. They'd be old in Batu. Except no, Gunji.
I mean,
Gunji would
Batu's
still
been
be-
around. It's just that the era of Batu, that Batu's technically, and that's here now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Oh, come on.
Alrighty, ladies.
Yeah.
I guess that's it, right?
Yeah. That ending, like I was sobbing, but I was also like in shock. Like I just felt like my whole body was like, I don't know. I just felt odd.
You guys talked about the conflict. I heard that part.
You could talk. Do you have anything to say about the
Yeah,
conflict?
that was just so cool that the conflict was there. And it was cool to see like Vader holding a blue lightsaber. It was Ahsoka's, but like it was just cool anyway. Yeah.
I wonder if
I like that it did that time. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say,
like
if he like put it in his temple in Mustafar, or like with Padme's grave, Ahsoka's lightsaber, depending on when.
Yeah,
Mhm.
or I just like that they did that kind of time jump like they did in Rebels, except this one was kind of like sad.
Yeah.
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 Well-
The Rebels ending is like, well, everything turned out okay. We have hope. We're gonna go find Ezra. It's great.
Yeah.
And then Clone Wars, it's like everyone's dead.
Yeah.
Life sucks.
Enter the dark times.
Right.
But
Well,
they didn't use words, and that's interesting too. Rebels
Yeah.
had a monologue. It had Sabine talking, kept everything nice and pretty happy, and if frustrating because we still don't know where Ezra is. But
Dave?
Clone Wars just had no words. It was just, and there are no words really. I mean, we've been trying to find words, but I don't think there are any to perfectly describe it to someone who hasn't watched it.
Yeah.
Right. I think, well, in terms of like the next animated series, what do you guys want to see? I think I know the answer to that. from all
Sabine.
of you.
Ezra.
Okay. Well, I don't. Seeing the Sabine Ezra Ahsoka show doesn't count as an answer because we all know that's what we want. But
Okay.
besides
Kaz and
that,
Valmarati together.
Besides that, I know Corey, you posted, was it you or Noah? I forget who,
Yeah.
but I know you guys talked about it and your ideas are really cool. Do you want to say?
Yeah. I thought, how cool would it be if we had like a series similar to the Clone Wars animation style, with like Luke and Ahsoka and Rex and Han and Leia, and like we actually see Force Ghost Anakin interacting with Ahsoka, Matt Lanner and Ahsoka talking to each other, and Ahsoka meeting Luke. I need that. Like I need that. I mean, it has to happen.
I would say because Ahsoka's in, that might go hand in hand with the Sabine Ezra. Like maybe there's like before they officially leave, we see Ahsoka just briefly like going to Rex like, "Hey, I'm okay," and like talking to Luke and stuff. Yeah, I personally, because some of my, I wouldn't say my favorite, but some of the episodes I really love in the Clone Wars are like the episodes about like bounty hunters and that aren't as focused on like Jedi and like clones as much as it is just like bounty hunters. Like the one Ventress episode, I think it's called Bounty.
Bounty.
I really love that episode. And I would like to see a show that like takes like the bounty hunter elements of that, but then it's also like Rebels, and that it's a family, like a group of bounty hunters. But it's like, so it's like Rebels, but sort of with like a darker twist because they're not doing the moral thing, and it's like maybe they're not quite as functional a family as the Ghost Crew is.
It's funny because I thought that's where the Mandalorian was going.
Right.
Baby Yoda and this whole Clan of Two concept. I'm like, okay, I like it where it's going, but I also wanted something like that.
I thought that was exactly like IG-11 and Kara and all of them were going to be like one big family fight. Yeah, I thought so too.
I mean, we might still get that because we know that
yeah,
that they shot to get like Cara Dune's still in season 2 because she shot for
Right.
it. So
yeah, I could see that.
But yeah,
That'd be awesome.
bounty hunter show that's the sort of like slightly less moral rebels is something that I would like. Just and like sort of like actually a better example than bounty would be in I forget the name of the episode definitely, but the first episode that has Suji in it and Embo and them like maybe bounty hunters more like them because we see them doing the good right thing, that crew, and doing the wrong thing
right
in later episodes, you know.
Right.
So it'd be interesting to see like a group of people like navigating that.
Yeah, I'd love to see more Cad Bane and Embo. It'd be great.
Yeah, I'd love to see, especially that scene that we got in Orlando between Cad Bane and Boba Fett.
Yes.
Like, I want to see how that ultimately ends. What goes on from there? So yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like they could still do like, they could actually still do that arc. It doesn't have to be Clone Wars. They can, it's because it's not involving the actual war. It could just be a side story in a Disney Plus quick release or something. I have a feeling we're going to see some things like Dark Disciple at some point. I think we'll see that.
Yeah.
At least for Sal's sake, because I know he
I
wants
know,
that,
yeah,
that
we need
ball
the Galavas,
down.
yeah.
It needs to happen for him at least.
Yeah.
Poor dad.
Poor father.
Poor father. Yeah, I just want my Ezra.
Yeah, I was gonna
and
say
my Sabine. But other than that, I want to see Kaz. I don't know why, but I just do. I was really excited because when no spoilers, hold on. I wanted Vaimarati, the best spy ever, to meet the worst spy ever, Kaz. I would have just thought that would be the greatest thing ever.
I want a Batu animated series with Vaimarati. Now you said that would be cool.
Oh, I know this. Okay, wait. Now it's coming back to me. I did see Resistance season 2. Some of it. She was the one who.
Vaimarati's not in season 2.
I'm not thinking of the season 2 Resistance episodes.
No, Vaimarati is the blue-haired person in Batu. She's cool. She's great. I love her to death.
Have you read Phasma, Corey?
Phasma?
Yeah, the book. Phasma.
Oh, I thought you meant like the character. I'm like, yeah.
No, have you read Phasma?
I have not.
Okay, she's in that book. She's great.
Okay.
And
Black Spire. That too. Okay. Yes. Oh, she's the one who like goes around Galaxy's Edge, right?
Yeah, she has a cool jacket.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's cool.
She's cool.
I got it. I see.
I asked her questions about the story, and she was like spot on.
I know Lizzie was like quizzing her when we were there. And she was like, "So what about your dead friend? How's he?" Like, "Oh my god."
Oh my god.
I just wanted to know. Oh.
You asked her. You said something like, "So were you sad when Archex died?" And she just looked at you for a second, and I was like, "Oh my god, Lizzie, why would you say that?"
But she was like spot on. I was proud.
I get that Disney casting right.
Yeah, that was cool.
I imagine when you play those characters, they give you like a reading list, and then they also give you a giant binder. It's like, here's what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
Here's what you need.
Right.
Yeah.
We became a spy team with her. We were Blue Lothcat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. We created that code name.
She named me Delta.
Cool.
Oh, cool.
Well, yeah. Galaxy's Edge was a thing once, wasn't it?
It was.
No.
Man.
I remember the stories.
One day.
I only have pictures.
Alrighty then.
Yeah.
So,
we podcasted for like
2 hours.
Almost 3 hours.
3? Oh gosh. That was a good conversation though.
Yeah.
You know, I've said this on my other shows couple, over the last couple of weeks, but honestly, like if it wasn't for Clone Wars, I wouldn't even know any of you guys here. And
Same,
so it's because of that show that brought so much of us together. And so I'm so happy that we all got to experience this together and record right now. And it's just been a blast getting to know all of you guys through the years. So for that, thank you, Mr. Filoni. You have done something truly special.
Thank you, Dave.
Yes. And the awesome animation department that put it all together. I mean,
everyone involved.
Yeah.
I just want to say, because I can talk about this now, I was on our Star Wars stories, and when they were filming, the whole crew, I mean, not the whole crew, but half of them, like Matt Martin and some of the camera guys, all had these awesome Clone Wars Season 7 hoodies.
Oh.
And I was like, where can I get one of those? And like, I think they were annoying me a little bit, but like, I think Matt Martin was like, oh, well, they're only for the production team. And I was like, where can I get one? I was like, you can't. And I was like, they were so cool.
How can I be on the production team?
Yeah, hire me
seriously.
right now.
I know, and then
Give me a job.
He also has a cap with the clone trooper.
Nice.
The Ahsoka trooper. Yeah, that's awesome. So cool.
Because when I saw the hoodies, I thought they were like an early Her Universe release that wasn't out yet.
I wish.
Well, they got that for Jonah. They got that Captain Rex Hot Toys coming out.
Oh my gosh, I need to get it because I have the first one that they released. I also have the updated version, and yeah, I need to get that one to complete my
the holy grail of Rexes.
Yes. It's funny because Zoe made a helmet for me with Captain Rex on it, with Captain Rex's J guys. And so I have that. I have those two. I have the stuffed toy that you gave me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I have that. And yeah, it's like a Rex
shrine.
Awesome.
Yeah. All I need is a candle and light it every
And pray to it every morning.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I have
my room's become a Star Wars shrine at this point. That's
awesome. I have this 5 set up with every single 5s pieces just come out. And every time I look at it, I'm just like, should I just like start praying to 5s?
It's funny because I have like IKEA. You can't see it right now, I don't think, but I have like IKEA display cases with like a bunch of pops and stuff in them. And I have this one of the shelves is just all Leia. Like I have her Force of Destinies and a bunch of her pops, and then I have another one for Rey. And it's just interesting because I don't particularly attach to my characters like I do other ones, but for some reason I have Leia and Rey shrines.
Oh, that's awesome.
I have a whole Star Wars Rebels wallpaper.
Yeah, I was good. Yeah.
And they just watch me while I sleep. It's fine.
Kanan watched when I slept over there. Kanan was watching me the whole time, like where I was sleeping. His eyes were like straight at me. I was not a fan.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I was not a fan.
I'm just glad that like my cabinet here blocks Zeb. Not gonna lie.
Aww. Where's Zeb?
Yeah.
Alrighty, ladies.
Yeah.
That was a good podcast.
Good podcast.
Thank
I
you
was
for
on
having
there
us
for the
on.
majority of the time.
You were on for the majority of the time.
Yeah. This has been fun. We should do this again when the next animated series comes out.
Yes. Yeah.
That'd be great.
For sure.
Happy Revenge of the 6th, everyone.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's always like Revenge of the 5th because they can't just wait another day for the one that sounds better.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, actually, you're right.
Kind of like yeah.
They're just too excited.
Exposing
They're like,
us.
4th, 5th.
6th. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I actually have to make lunch. Everyone's starving.
Oh, go feed your family. I was Zoe.
I was Lizzy.
I was Jonah.
I was Cora, and I really enjoyed Clone Wars, and I miss it.
I miss it already. It's been 2 days. It feels like it's been longer than 2 days.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for listening.
Wait, where can we find you, Jonah and Corey?
Well, you can find me on Twitter with the handle @BlueJGuys, and you can also find my writings on radicalgrid.com, and you can listen to me and my mom talk about Star Wars whenever we record a podcast, which will be soon, on Geeky Bubble, a pod.
Corey?
You can follow me at Corey_Wolfpack on Twitter, as well as at KR Transmissions. I run a podcast on YouTube called Kessel Run Transmissions. We just interviewed Ashley a couple days ago, so if anyone hasn't checked that out, definitely do. It was really fun. And then we have a Kevin Kiner interview coming out later this week about the final season, or the final 4 episodes, and then a little something with James Arnold Taylor. So stay tuned for that.
Nice.
Awesome.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You can find Star Wars Geek Girl on Twitter at SW Geek Girl, Facebook at Star Wars Geek Girl, and we just started an Instagram. That was Lizzy's initiative. It's also SW Geek Girl.
I just started all the social media stuff, so I was like, we should do one for Geek Girl.
Yes, and we just started it.
Yeah,
One post, but
one.
okay. Yeah, and
Yeah.
so we already said who we were. So thank you for listening to Star Wars Geek Girl. May the Force be with you, and goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you guys
Star
for
Wars
having me.
Geek Girls. They're geek girls that like Star Wars. And sometimes cry.